Okay, this meeting is called to order. We have quorum. My name is Sarah Clendenning. I'm the president of the council. And then this meeting is not moderated by, but it's operated by 3 people. It's according to the EVG protocols for COVID. So the people you're gonna kind of hear a lot from are like me, Fernanda, who's the moderator, and Vince, who's the man behind the controls. Let's see. Am I doing this all right? Looking at my paperwork. Yeah, so for Secretary Sanchez, could you please do roll call?
Okay, I will now do roll call. Sarah Clendenning,
Present.
Ben Wadsworth,
Present.
Fernanda here, William Rodriguez Morrison, Nancy Stella Soto,
Present.
Benny Madera,
Here.
Diana Tran,
Here.
Richard Larson,
Here.
Annalee Har,
Here.
Melanie Bolomo Stiflat,
Present.
Vicente Gonzalez Reyes, Armida Marrufo, Victor Asanedo,
Present.
Diego Zapata, Richard Ortiz,
Present.
Gil Arevalo,
Bill?
Gil Arevalo,
Bill Arevalo. Hello, I see your logo.
I'm here. Sorry.
Steve Lucero,
Right here.
Lina Ruiz, Celina Ortega,
Present.
and Vicente Chente Montalvo.
Present.
And that concludes roll call.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fernie. So Secretary Sanchez, for the record, could you please note that this is the 3rd consecutive regular board meeting absence by William Rodriguez Morrison? For the record.
Noted, thank you.
Yeah, so code of conduct. I just want to remind all the board members, I remind the public and our board members of our code of conduct and civility rules. In order to speak, you must raise your hand to comment. It's not a time for board members to comment, public comment, it's public time. To all stakeholders and board members, no personal attacks or use of violent or sexist or racist language will be permitted. Public comment is a time for the public to address the board as a whole. And with that being said, let's open it up to public comment of non-agenda items, 1 minute per person.
Sarah, before we start that, Fernanda, Diego came in at 6:06.
Thank you, noted.
Thank you.
Yeah, so if you would like to comment that it's something that isn't on the agenda, you can do so now if you're from the public by raising your hand and pressing *9. And if you want to comment on an item, you can wait until that item is called to comment. Okay, so any public comments?
Jessica Swan?
Hi, my name is Jessica Swan. I work for the Department of Toxic Substances Control, and I am the public participation specialist who works in several projects in this area and along the Los Angeles River. I wanted to introduce myself. I am not familiar with your guys' meetings, but will likely be regularly attending going forward. So I wanted to let you guys know who I am and say hello. I did not see an agency comment section, so I wanted to just jump in right here.
Thank you, Jessica. All right, any other comments from the
I
public?
don't see any more public comment.
My hand has been raised for the last 3.5 minutes. Thank you.
Richard, it's public comments right now, public,
That's right. I want to make a public comment.
your board member.
I can make a public comment.
You can wait till the next item to when we have the board member announcements.
Nope, that's not an announcement. It's a public comment. All board members can weigh in on public comments. Thank you. Does anybody have any problem with that? I'd like to speak. Thank you. So fellow council members, I just spoke to Joanne Boykins, summer school principal at Lincoln High School, and she told me this: Stanford, Princeton, Johns Hopkins, as well as USC, Swarthmore, and UCLA will be the new destination for Lincoln High seniors. 100% of the class of 2021 are going to college. What makes this wonderful achievement even better? They did it during the COVID lockdown, facing challenges with isolation, new technology, and access to educational resources being limited. Many of our kids started this effort 2 years ago, but they have given hope to our community to lift ourselves through education and dedicated parents. Congratulations, Lincoln High seniors and principals Rose Ann Ruiz and Joanne Boykins on this stunning achievement. I hope your student-run newspaper survives too. I believe this council could do more to fully support our community. We've lost significant resource and funding here. My fellow council members, please remember Lincoln High and honor the efforts of our children and their parents with supporting MPGs that directly benefit our community. Thank you.
That was a public announcement, Richard. Any other public comments?
Nope, there's none seen.
Okay, any, any,
Yeah, I have
Oh.
a comment on behalf of the Lincoln Heights Boys and Girls Club. I'm not sure if that's
Benny, this is
public or board.
public. Benny, according to the agenda, this is, we're not at that item yet. So,
Okay.
okay, so we're gonna go to community and board announcements if there are no more public comments at this time. Vince, do you see
I
any?
see Kate Montanez has a comment.
Okay.
Okay, state your name.
Oh, this is a community announcement, so sorry.
Okay,
Kind of the
we'll
same.
get you on the next one.
Okay. Any more
Okay, so
public comments? No?
we don't have no more public comment. Just the one for the next item.
Next, we'll move on to item number 3, non-agenda public comments, 1 minute. Oh, wait, no, sorry. Item number 4, community and board announcements, 1 minute per person. So any community announcements?
We had Benny and then Kate.
Well, first I want to take community ones and then board members.
Oh, community. Okay, so Kate.
Kate,
Can you hear me? Hi, my name's Kate Montanez. I'm an organizer with Water Drop LA, a mutual aid group working to combat water insecurity in non-house communities in LA, primarily in Skid Row. I also work with Hispanic Access Foundation and National Parks, a small office working on environmental justice, access to the outdoors, and park equity. So my coworker and I have a $1,400 grant to plan and host an event for Latino Conservation Week on Sunday, July 25th, which is next weekend from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at LA State Historic Park. It's planned to be a pop-up type event with different community groups, resources, and free food for the public, centered in reimagining public space, rethinking park safety, and promoting park equity for all. Yeah, the point of this event is really just to bring people together in an inclusive way to have conversations about parks as places where everyone, regardless of income, housing status, race, immigration status, ability, gender, or identity, can feel and supported to connect with nature and each other and all the benefits that come from these relationships. Programming will include a station for youth to imagine and draw their ideal park, a space to connect community members with free mental health resources, and speaking engagements from housing and environmental advocates, and free food for the public. So I just wanted to uplift this event that's happening next Sunday for the community. And if anybody from the council would want to interact more about this event and support it, I can put send my email along. I would love to connect.
we have our outreach committee. Thank you.
Okay.
So yeah, the date for next Sunday is Sunday the 18th, right? This Sunday? I guess, next Sunday.
It's
Sunday.
next Sunday.
Okay. The 18th or the 25th next?
It's the 25th. It's the
Oh, the
25th.
25th. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. All right.
Okay, our next
Are we allowed
speaker
to
is,
ask questions? I have one quick question. Or no?
No, let's do public. This is public time. We're not
Thank-
allowed. Yeah. Let's just do any more public announcements?
yeah, we have David Galvez.
Hi, David.
Yes, hello, everybody. President Clendenning and members. David Galavis here representing USC. Want to make two quick announcements. The first is we are partnering with LA and the County Wellness Center to host a free backpack, school supply, and food pantry giveaway on Saturday, July 24th. It'll be located at 1701 Zonal, what's known as USC lot number 71. My team will send out a flyer tomorrow, so you all can pass it along to your constituencies. Again, it's free backpack, school supplies, and food pantry. And the second thing is just want to announce that every year we participate in the city's Higher LA Youth Program, where we take youth from various neighborhoods around our campuses and place them in 4-week jobs at USC and pay them. And this year, I'm happy to announce that we're going to have 90 youth with a lot of potential from Lincoln Heights, Boyle Heights, El Sereno, Ramona Gardens, as well as our communities over in South LA participating in this program. Be happy to share more information going forward. Thank you.
And Jackie Kim. Hello, Jackie?
Becky Kim.
Sorry about that. I was muted. I'm also been having some Zoom trouble, so I do want to apologize if my audio cuts in and out. Just wanted to, if this is an appropriate agenda item to do so, just give a couple of announcements, some NC updates. Would that be okay with the board?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So I'll try to keep it brief. There are a lot of updates for July. So the first is the Board of Neighborhood Commissioners has passed a resolution allowing for the temporary continuation of virtual neighborhood council meetings up until December 31st of 2021. Given that the governor doesn't change any other provisions of the Brown Act, the NCs can continue to hold virtual meetings up until then. In addition to that, the bylaws amendment period has opened up. So if the neighborhood council wants to amend anything in their bylaws, then they can start convening committees and start reviewing it so that you can submit it for amendment. The deadline is going to be April 15th, 2022. And if you need any of the documents, such as the bylaws template, the application, and so on, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to provide all of that. In addition, just a quick update about the funding for this fiscal year. So as you may know already, the mayor's proposed budget is $32,000 per neighborhood council. And it also includes the $50,000 for translation and interpretation services. So that means that if the neighborhood council would like to book any language services, they can do so. And then the city clerk's office will reimburse them. In addition to the $32,000, there's also the $10K rollover. So if there was any leftover money from last year, it should have been rolled over for this year. In addition to that, the department is holding the Neighborhood Council Core Institute. So this is specifically geared toward newly elected board members. It's pretty much a very comprehensive onboarding program that's tailored to support the new board members in participation and just getting familiar with all of the NC guidelines and processes. So currently we've had 2 sessions of module 1, I believe one in May and one in June. And we're having another one on Wednesday, July 28th at 6:30 p.m. So if you've attended any of the first 2 sessions, you don't have to attend again. The content is pretty much going to be exactly the same. And then final update is Civic U. So our department is bringing back Civic U. It's pretty much a very comprehensive training session that equips board members with the tools to understand city government and to kind of give a comprehensive course on how to influence policy at City Hall. So the only thing is that because of guidelines from the city attorney's office, there are Brown Act quorum concerns. So the board will have to approve folks to attend this specific event, and it has to be less than the majority of quorum. So for Lincoln Heights, because your quorum is 14 and the majority of quorum is 8, up to 7 board members can be appointed to attend the civic youth session. And each session is going to be an hour and a half long, and it will be broken up into 3 different sessions. And it's going to be taking place Thursday, September 9th, September 23rd, and September 30th at 6:30 p.m. And it's going to go over content such as the power structure at LA City Hall, how city government is structured, and then how to mobilize for influence. So this does require board action. So I highly recommend that you agendize this for your next upcoming board meeting. I'll be sending out an email with all of this information. So, and it'll also include how the specific agenda language that you can include in the upcoming agenda. That is pretty much it on my end. I would be happy to take any questions if anybody has them right now.
Board members have any questions for Jackie?
We have one from Richard Larson.
Hi, how's everybody doing? Jackie, I just wanted to bring up the fact that the Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council passed a resolution saying that we would not be entertaining changes to our bylaws. So I just wanted to let everybody know that we've already passed a resolution on that item. Thank you.
Okay, I mean, if that's the board, if that's what the board wants, then that's totally fine. This is just more so if the board wanted to make amendments to the bylaws, and they can do so.
Deanne Tran.
Yeah, hi. I have a question for David Galaviz. He's the one with the free backpack giveaway, right? Is it possible for me to spread it to schools around me? Because like I can contact schools and like send it to them, like with that information.
Yes, absolutely. Can I give you my email address? Because I want to make sure, I don't know if we have your
I
updated.
really want. Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay.
I would really appreciate that.
Email is
Q&A.
DGALA, V as in Victor, IZ as in Zebra, at USC.edu. We'd love for you to spread that.
DGZ.
DGALA,
LA.
VIZ,
VIZ.
V as in Victor, IZ as
Oh.
in Zebra. At
Okay.
U as in
At U?
university, yeah.
Mhm.
S as in Southern, C as in California, .edu.
Okay. So I just have to email you and you will give me information and then I'll spread it to the schools that I know.
Yes, I'll send you the flyer.
Thank you very much. I would greatly appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I have one question for Jackie. Jackie, on the rollover for the NC funding, did they cap it at $10,000 again, or is it what's totally left from the last fiscal year?
Sorry about that. I didn't realize that I can't unmute myself. The rollover is capped at $10,000. There are no encumbrances this year.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
I don't see any more. Sarah?
Hey, yeah, I couldn't unmute myself. Can you hear me? All right.
Let me
So let's see.
Okay.
I'm good now. Are there any more community announcements from community members? Any community members have any announcements for us, for the public? Raise your hand, please. No?
Nope, I don't see any.
All right, so then we'll go to board announcements. Any board members have any announcements?
I think Benny had an announcement there.
Okay, Benny?
Yeah, just on behalf of the Boys and Girls Club of Lincoln Heights, just wanted to say a few things in regards to their summer program they got going on. They got a food bank every Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m., which is free to everyone. They also have a summer day camp Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's ages 5 through 18 for their summer day camp. They also have an after-school program from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. And they also have a baseball league going on. For the cost of that is $20. And let's see here. Yeah, I think that's it.
Thank you, Benny.
Sure.
That's the Boys and Girls Club on Pasadena Avenue. Lincoln
Yes.
There are others, but yeah, this one is ours. Any other board member announcements? No?
I see Selena and I see Armida.
Okay. Okay, we have 3 hands up. Vince, could you grab those? Vince?
Yep.
Oops, sorry
Armida, you
about that.
can- Armida, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, hi. This is Armida. I just had to say something. I received an email regarding an email that was sent by the Intel regarding another email or letter about some fabricated story that I created and generated, and I'm severely bothered by that. Okay. I hope it's not true. And right about now, I don't even know what's more distressing and upsetting. The treatment that I'm going through right now, or this letter that came to me out of somebody from the Intel who clearly fabricated this story. I hope it's not true because there was no name. It just came from the Intel. And I would hate to think that anybody in here would raise some seriously false allegations against me. For that matter, I cannot be a part of a group that feels they cannot trust me and feels that I should not be a part of this. Okay, whoever did this very well knows what they did. It was in the that newspaper that circulates or whatever. It's bothering to a certain point that somebody would raise false allegations. I know they're not true, but I will be removing myself from the board until I seek some kind of legal advice and take it from there. If anybody did that from this board, I highly recommend you make that right so you can move forward. This is beyond disturbing. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Any more board member announcements?
We have Selena Ortega.
Selena?
Hi, I just had a question for Benny for the baseball league. Was there an age for that, or I'm not sure if I missed it?
See, for the baseball league, I'm not. The only ages I have are for the summer day camp, which is 5 to 18. Yeah.
I'll email them because they couldn't come tonight, but they want to come in the future to the meetings to announce. But it seems that they have a lot of programming. Just hit up the Boys and Girls Club.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, we have Diego.
Yeah, Diego?
Sorry, I'll make this really quick. I just wanted to make this announcement because it wasn't on the agenda. It's probably my fault, sorry. But we all received an email from the Urban Forestry Division of the City of Los Angeles about a tree removal that's being proposed on 1744 Zonal Avenue in front of the Women and Children's Hospital. I contacted Juan Sarda from LA County Public Works Department and got some details about him that I wanted to relay really quickly. So essentially, the Urban Forestry Division is proposing and advocating for the trees to simply be pruned and for the roots to also be pruned. Public Works wants to remove the tree and the tree that's adjacent to it because essentially they're redoing that sidewalk and it's not ADA compliant. People in wheelchairs cannot go through. So it's advised that because it's only one tree, the Urban Forestry Division really leans on neighborhood councils to advise what the community would like to do with those trees. And I did ask Juan whether if they did cut both of those trees down, if they were going to be replaced. And he says that that's up to the Urban Forestry Division. So I would really like to move to have some statement be made by the council. I don't know how to go about that, but just wanted to bring that as an announcement.
Thank you, Diego.
Thank you, Diego.
We have Victor. Oh, he was there already. Victor, do you have an announcement?
No, never mind. I had a question for Diego, but I'll just send him a question later.
Okay. And then we have just one more announcement in the public. Kate?
Yeah, no, I already made my announcement. I just wanted to, it sounded like there were some questions and I wanted to be able to give my email to people that wanted that about Latino Conservation Week and the event on July 25th. Is there a way to, can I just say it?
I took it down. I took it down already, so I'll make sure I'll send it to our secretary and it'll get out to all the board members.
Okay, but what about the people
Number
that are on here right now?
We're not legally allowed to have Q&A on council meetings.
Oh, okay.
If you could verbally say it for now, and then we'll make an announcement on our social media.
Okay. Yeah, I can verbally say it. It's Catherine, Katherine _ Montanez, which is my last name on the screen, MONTANEZ at partner.nps.gov. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Okay. So, any more public question? Any more public announcements?
no more public comment. I mean, excuse me, public announcement.
I have my hand raised.
Okay. Richard, what is? Can you make your announcement?
I just want to make sure I'm not the invisible man, but I want to make an announcement. So the 2021 Los Angeles Congress is going to be occurring September 25th. It's a Saturday. And I wanted to invite the Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council to participate in helping us fund this event. It's a citywide event that joins all 99 neighborhood councils. And I've put in an email requesting funding from our council. I haven't heard anything back yet. It was just sent in recently. But many of the neighborhood councils are joining in and funding this great event. We have workshops on all the topics that I think are interesting to Lincoln Heights. Some of them I see referred to in the agenda and so forth. So if you want to connect to, high-level people within the Los Angeles government and our departments and our bureaucracies and so forth, on a Q&A type of style event, we're going to have these workshops. There's going to be 5 or 6 concurrent workshops on a variety of topics, and they are all being posted very shortly on our website, which is lacongress.net. And please fund this Congress. It's going to be a good thing for us, and I think everybody will enjoy it. It can be done directly through the city clerk. Funding can be made directly to the city clerk. It's not an NPG, and it's all been worked out with the department and so forth. So that's about it. Thank you.
Okay, Sarah.
I have an announcement.
I don't see any. Oh, sorry.
I received information about if anybody needs psychological help, counseling, you need somebody to talk to. There's a free hotline by the state. It's called Cal Hope Connect. And they have Vietnamese, Spanish, Chinese language. I guess the website's just like Hope Connect. Just Google that and you'll find it. But yeah, totally free, and you can call them all the time. And yeah, it's a good service. All right, so no more announcements then. We'll move on to, where's my new agenda? Item number, okay. Funding agenda items, item A. So we don't have a treasurer right now. So who reads this, Vince? Should Bernie read this?
Yeah, the motion should be read by Fernie. If we're just, it's like a regular item, but this one does. Each of these have to be done individually because they're funding. So we should make a motion to appoint the second signature, and then a second motion to appoint the bank card holder.
Okay. Okay, so should Bernie read this or should I?
Well, I'll make the motion. I'll make the motion to appoint the second signature. And so we had the treasurer was the first signature. Do we have a second signature already?
Yes, that was my signature.
Okay.
Okay.
So I guess we need to replace the first signature.
Yeah, that's good. Well, usually the treasurer is the first signature. Let me see if Jackie Kim can clarify this one. Jackie?
Yes, I'm here.
So we have the motion for the second signature, and Fernanda's already the signature. When the treasurer is elected, they become automatically the first signature, don't they?
Yeah, the treasurer is the first signer.
Okay. Okay, so then we don't got to make a motion on this one because Fernanda was already appointed as the second signature.
Yes, I believe that the treasurer will always sign all the financial documents, and in the event that the treasurer is not available to do so, the second signer can sign for them. That's usually how the
Okay.
process works. Yeah.
And then on the, because we also have the second one for the second bank card holders, does the treasurer automatically become the the first bank card holder?
Oh, wait, sorry about that. Let me go back. I meant to say the alternate signer steps in if either of them can't sign. The first signer is the treasurer, and the second signer is the one that signs off on those things, and it can be anybody. And then the alternate is the one that can step in for them. And then, sorry, what was your second question?
And the second one, similar, it's for the second bank card holder. The treasurer becomes the first one, and then you have the second bank card holder, right?
For that one, it's a little different. It depends. It actually depends on what the neighborhood council's bylaws state, or if it doesn't state, then it's whoever the board will appoint as the first card holder and the second card holder.
Okay. Okay, so this one we don't have. So this one they can appoint with the treasurer then, or whoever they want on the board. We have to appoint the second bank card holder.
Yeah, so if this first bank card holder hasn't been appointed, then that needs to be done. I want to say before the second, not before, but the second bank card holder can also be appointed as well.
Okay. Okay, that's all.
I believe.
Thank you. Oh, Sarah, so on this one, for the second appointment of signature, Fernanda's already put in. Whoever becomes the treasurer will automatically be the first signature. So we can skip the motion to appoint the second signature since Fernanda's already been appointed. And for the second bank card holder, we can appoint either, the treasurer, or we can appoint someone different right now.
Okay,
So
appointing somebody.
yeah, like I could do it if you want. It's not a problem. So I'd like to nominate myself for it. I don't know if anybody else has any interest in the second bank card holder position.
Anybody?
I second your motion.
Okay, let me just make the motion to be clear. The motion is to appoint Vincent Montalvo as the second bank card holder. Is there a second?
I second that.
Okay, and Fernanda, this is a funding item. So this has to be done individually. So everyone has to respond yes or no
Okay,
as you go down on it.
all right. I will now begin taking vote. Sarah Clendenning,
Yay.
Point of order.
Richard?
Thank you. Okay, so Jackie can zoom in here if she likes, but the second signer is actually required to take training, and until they pass training, there's no point in voting unless this person has already taken the special training that's required for the second signer.
Yes, I'm currently, I have the treasurer training and the basic training that everyone takes.
Well, there's a special one for the second signer. I don't know.
No, there isn't. No, there isn't. No, there
Yes,
isn't.
there is. I'm not here to argue. I'm just here to say what the status, and I don't know who is that's interrupting me anyway. Thank you very much.
thank you, Richard. Jackie, can you answer that?
Yeah, so all financial officers have a different funding training that they have to go through. It's much more extensive and detailed than the one on Cornerstone for regular board members. To my knowledge, there is not a separate training. It's just called the financial officer training. It's about, I think, 2 hours long, and the city clerk's office will email the session dates to all the NCs at the beginning of every month. I believe the upcoming one for this month is Tuesday, July 27th at 6 p.m.
Yeah, and I did take that one already, Jackie, and I have a credit or the email from Monica and also the city clerk. I think it was Martha who sent it to me.
Yeah, that's
So
totally fine.
Okay.
As long as you have done it, then you are eligible to serve as that financial officer.
Okay, thank you. Sarah, well, actually, Fernanda, before we start too, we skipped 2 little spots. We need to ask for board comment and then public comment, and then we take the vote. Is there any board comment?
Yeah, I have a quick question. So from my understanding, everything that I submitted, I just looked over it. I am the second signer and a bank card holder. I'm just not sure if I'm the first or second for the bank card. I don't
You're
know. Jay.
the first card holder.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Okay. What,
So-
Sarah?
So the motion is Vince to be the second bank card
The
holder?
second card holder, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's been seconded. So any board member comments on that? Discussion, board member comments on Vince?
We didn't get any but Fernandez.
Okay, so any public comments about Vince being the second card holder?
If anybody in the public wishes to make a comment, you can raise the little yellow hand. And if you're on the landline, you can push *9. I don't see any.
Okay, so repeat the motion. The motion for Vince to be the second card holder. We're gonna take a vote. Secretary Sanchez,
All right, I will now begin taking the vote. Sarah Clendenning,
yay.
Ben Wadsworth,
Ben,
Ben Wadsworth,
Let me just check to see if they're not having trouble unmuting, because I know some did.
muted.
No, he's on mic.
Hmm.
we
Let me
still have-
see.
correct,
Yeah, his mic is open, but I don't.
Once-
I'll get back to him then.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Fernanda, yes. Nancy,
Yes.
Benny,
Yes.
Diana,
Yes, but I'm not sure if I'm able to because it's a financial matter and I'm a minor.
right, thank you. Richard Larson,
Richard?
No.
Okay, thank you, Richard.
Annalee,
Yes.
Melanie,
Yes.
Victor,
Yes.
Diego,
Yes, sorry about that.
Richard Ortiz,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes, absolutely.
Selena,
Yes.
Gil,
Yes.
that's 12 yeses and 1 no.
Right. And then we'll move on to the next item, correct? Oh, wait. Congratulations, Vince. The motion is passed. You are now the second bank card holder.
Thank you.
Use it wisely. All right, new agenda items. Ms. Fernanda Sanchez, could you announce the vacant seats, please? Item A. Well, the second A.
1 second.
Oh, sorry, you're telling the votes. Well, I'll just do it anyway. Announcement of open positions. Item A, discussion and possible action on filling LHNC board vacancies. We have right now 2 community-based organization representative slots open. That's CBO. That's like if you work for or you own or run a nonprofit or a community-based organization, you could do this position and you would be the representative of those organizations in our community. The next one is we have 1 business rep position. That means that's open to somebody who owns or works for a business with the actual physical address in Lincoln Heights. And so we have 3 of those positions, but only 1 is open. All right. And then another position is 1 Area 4 resident representative. So Area 4 is the area around USC. And so we're looking for a resident who wants to be on the board. And then we have a treasurer position open. And that was the announcement of positions. And now I'm going to announce that we've received applications for 2 of the slots. One is an application for treasurer by Vince Montalvo, and then an application for business rep, CBO by Lydia DeLizer. But I don't know if she's here, or Didia DeLizer. So we'll go through with Vince. Mr. Montalvo?
Yes.
Do you have a statement?
It's a lot of work, but I've done it for a while. I've done accounting for a while, and I just recently got off with the Elysian Valley Riverside Neighborhood Council, where I've done it for about 5 years. So I'm familiar with the system, and I did do all the funding training, and I do believe in keeping good, open, and transparent records. So I hope to bring the same service I did in Elysian Valley to Lincoln Heights, and hopefully make everyone happy with my service.
All right. Now we do any public comments, correct?
No, it opens up to, there's only 1 application. No one else applied.
Okay.
So the motion, this has to be a separate one because it's also funding. So the same way we did the second signer, someone makes a motion to accept my application as a treasurer. And then we start with, if the motion's second, then we do board member comment and then public comment and then vote.
Okay, did I just motion to appoint, motion for Vince Montalvo to be the treasurer of Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council?
I second.
I have my hand up.
We're going through a process here, Richard.
Right, and I have my hand up.
Please wait for your turn.
My hand was up before this started. I have a point of order.
After motioning, we go to board comments. Thank you.
I had my hand up with a point of order before you started this. I'm just saying that according to our traditions, first of all, when a vacancy is announced, we wait 30 days until we see if there's any other contenders for any particular spot. We have it in our bylaws that we make the announcement of an open seat at a meeting, and then at the subsequent meeting, we see if there's any contenders, and at that meeting, we can take a vote. We don't announce an open seat and vote at the same meeting. It's out of order.
We announced the seat last week. You weren't here. Sorry, Richard. All right, so we have a second. Any other board member comments on Vince?
No comments.
Okay, so any public comments on Vince? Vince being
Just
treasurer?
one second. Let me get Ben in. Ben,
Okay,
one, and I guess Ben popped out and then he's back in. Hello, Ben.
Ben Wadsworth?
Yes. Okay, he's back in now. Okay, we can continue. I just wanted to make a note of that he popped out and came back in.
So,
Hold.
any public comments about Vince being treasurer? Yes or no? We have to move on. We have a big agenda.
Okay.
Go. Any public comment?
We got Jackie Kim.
All right.
Sorry, not public comment. I'm checking through the standing rules right now, so please give me a moment while I look through them, but I think there actually is a specific date that we have to wait before we can fill the vacancy. If somebody vacated their seat at the last board meeting on the 1st of July, then I think there's like 30 or 60 days where the position has to be announced and open and then can be filled at a next regular meeting. So just give me 1 second while I find that language.
Oh, thank you, everybody. We'll take a minute here. Do you have, Vince, do you have the standing rules? Can you put them on the screen? Hello? Oh, yeah, nice. Wow, it's got a lot of old names on that. I've been updated for decades. Let's see. Excellent. Put a magnifying glass out.
Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, I actually see it on the screen. So it's number 17. It says the vacancy must be advertised at least one regular meeting prior to the election. So it would be advertised at this regular meeting and then it would be filled at the next upcoming regular meeting. So it's not that it's the 30 or 60 days, but it is the order in which it is advertised.
Because I did advertise it at the last meeting. Leger had for the meeting and then I announced it at the last meeting. And then I made a public announcement.
So usually we ask that it's agendized on the agenda, as in it specifically states that this position is available and open so that everyone can see it. And then it gives ample time for any interested stakeholder or anyone who wants to apply to do so.
It says on the, oh wait. To the last agenda.
Jackie, could you bring up the bylaws regarding vacancies?
Yeah,
This is
so
this is a standing order. It is not the bylaws.
So yeah, the bylaws also supplement this because it does say that the secretary shall then ensure that the matter is placed on the agenda for the next regular meeting of the board. So it does need to be publicized on the agenda that there's an open spot before it is filled officially.
Does anybody have the agenda from July 1st?
Yeah, I'm looking through it.
Does it say announcement on there? 'Cause I verbally announced it. Oh, the agenda had already been made before.
Yeah, before she
Yeah. Oh, okay.
stepped down.
Well,
Yeah, sorry to kind of break up the whole process. I think whatever spot that hasn't been advertised at a prior regular board meeting, it can't be filled today.
it's weird. Yeah, wait. Let me look. The bylaws are gone now.
Yeah, can you pull it back up? Because it
rules?
doesn't specifically say it needs to be on the agenda either.
It just says it needs to be announced.
Yeah.
So I don't know, the standing rules override the bylaw, or supplement, but
So the standing rules do supplement the bylaws as long as it doesn't contradict what is stated in the bylaws.
July 1st. Oh yeah, we had to skip all the funding. Okay, so it's not on there. Oh wait, discussion possible board vacancies. Okay, youth rep area 5 business. Okay, so it wasn't on there. It's just, all right. Well, I mean, so it's about like interpretation. Okay, so as long as they don't contradict the bylaws, the standing rules don't contradict the bylaws.
Yes. So the hierarchy usually is that the bylaws will trump
items and look at them and see if they don't contradict.
I'm looking at the bylaws right now and it doesn't say anything about it being on the agenda.
All right. Let's whip out the standing rules and put them side by side.
This is page 7.
Great.
Section 6.
I don't see anything.
I can share my screen.
All right, nice. Nice screen, Fernie.
Wow.
Sorry, everyone. We have a lot of items, but we got to look at this.
Share.
Oh, dear.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, looks good. Vacancy, stop. Blah, blah, blah. Vacancy on the board shall be filled by procedure. Any stakeholder interested in filling a seat on the board shall submit a written application to the secretary. Done. Secretary shall then ensure that the matter is placed on the agenda for the next meeting of the board. Done. The board shall vote on the applications at that meeting. So that's this meeting. Correct? I'll let you guys talk about that.
Right.
Vince, what's your interpretation? I don't know. Does anybody want to speak on this?
I say we just voted on the next meeting to give an opportunity for other people to apply.
Who's speaking right now?
Me, Victor.
Oh, Victor. Well, I mean, yeah, but there are the rules, so we have to find out what the rules are. Because yeah, the it was put on this agenda. It was on the agenda for the 11th, the XCOM agenda for the 11th. It was on today's agenda. So according to what we did so far with the protocol, with the bylaws, we're legit.
Yeah.
Compare that to the standing rules, and they're
And the standing rules do not specifically say it has to be an itemized agenda.
Exactly. So it says it has to be announced. So therefore, we can vote right now. And if we're wrong, then it gets reversed. Correct? So we need to move forward. And we need a treasurer or somebody.
Are we going back to motioning on
Yeah.
the vote?
I motion, with the bylaws and the standing rules, it makes sense, we did it by procedure. So I motion to vote for treasurer.
I second that.
Okay.
I also see that William Rodriguez Morrison is on the attendee side.
Okay, so he's
I promoted him to panelist. I'm just waiting for him to get the notice and
okay, so then he'll be able to vote. So it's 6:58. Can you mark that, Bernie, for the record?
Noted, thank you.
Excellent. All right, so let's give William a minute to get in here.
okay, he's in.
Let's run down the vote. All right, Bernie, could you take a vote?
I will now take the vote. Sarah,
Yay.
Ben,
Yes.
Fernanda, yes. William? And again, this is to vote on the motion of accepting Vince's application for treasurer.
I've asked him to unmute, but I don't know if he's having technical problems. William, if you can hear us, I sent you a link to unmute yourself. If not, we can come back to him, Fernanda.
Let's move on.
Nancy,
Yes.
Benny,
Yes.
All right.
can Diana vote on this? No. Richard,
I recuse myself. I think this is improper and out of order.
Annalee,
Yes.
Melanie,
Yes.
Victor,
I abstain.
Diego,
Yes.
Richard Ortiz,
Aye.
Steve,
Yes.
Selena,
Yes.
William,
Right.
I've tried to get him unmute. William, if you can hear us, I can't control it. I unmuted him already a couple of times, but
Well, he's
I
not,
don't know.
if he's not present, if we can't hear him, he needs to be, he's not there then.
Okay.
so that's 11 yeses, 1 abstain, 1 recuse.
Okay, and the motion carries. Motion carries and Vince is treasurer. All right, so now we move to B, community impact statements and letters. I guess I'll just read this. Discussion, let me get the right one. Discussion and possible motion on
I can read it if you'd like.
Can you read it, Fernanda?
This is section B.
Yeah, B.
Discussion and possible action on letter community impact statement to LA City Council and Parks and Recreation to halt the seizure of public green space in historical Lincoln Park. Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council requests that Park and Recreation unlock the 2 Dodger Dreamfields at Lincoln Park and make them available for public use at all times. Misappropriation of public parks to corporate entities that serve the select few violates public park policy and is inequitable in a park poor community of color where 62.4% of the children live below the federal poverty line. Council file 21-0552.
Okay, and then we have the actual community impact statement and the supporting documents on our website, LHNC.org. Should we just pull it up on the screen? Vince?
I am on my way. Let me see here.
Document?
Got it. It'll show up right now.
It's the one that says CIS on it. There are 3.
Excuse me, I think we forgot something.
Oh, 1 second, Diana. Oh, you have a
Okay.
comment, Diana?
Yeah, I have a comment. So we missed something on the last one.
Oh, wait, we missed something on the last one? What's that?
Yeah, so we had treasurer, right? But I believe you also said there was a business representative, Didia Delizer.
Is
Yeah.
I don't think she's present. Let me see, sorry.
She's here, actually. Her hand is raised.
Oh,
She's here.
Sorry. Yeah, okay. Sorry, we're gonna go back. Didia,
Give me 1 second. Let me.
all right. Carried away in the whirlwind.
Thank you,
Okay.
Daniel. Thank you, everyone, for your patience.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, Didia, sorry for missing you.
Not a problem.
All right, thank you for coming to the meeting.
Glendenning, and thank you, thank you, Vince, for volunteering to serve as the council's treasurer. That's awesome.
All right, so Didia, you're applying for CBO, correct? Community-based org rep.
That is correct. And the organization I'm applying to represent voted just last night to nominate me. So I submitted my letter this afternoon, and almost none of you, perhaps none of you, will have had an opportunity to read it. So I would be happy to present that to you. I know that Diana did an outstanding job at the last meeting presenting her letter. So she was a model.
The stage is yours.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Diana and Didia. So Didia, yeah, go for it.
I can't turn my video on, but it doesn't really matter, I suppose.
Is it on Vince's end? Can you turn her video on?
I don't think they can do it while we're on webinar.
Oh, damn.
Unless actually, let me promote her and then I can,
Okay.
she'll be able to turn it on there. Okay.
Now I can unmute myself and start my audio. Okay, there. Now you guys can hear me and you can see me, right?
Wow.
So I'm Didia Delizer. Thank you for giving me a few minutes of your time. And so I'll follow Diana's model that she established. Oh, I see Richard has his hand up. Did we want to take that first before I begin?
No, that would be taken under board member comment once we finish.
Thank you. Thank you. So following Diana's model, dear members of the Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council, this letter introduces me, Didia Delizer, as a candidate for one of the open positions on the Neighborhood Council for a member of a community-based organization. I represent the Lincoln Heights Community Coalition and serve as secretary of the board. On July 14th, 2021, I was unanimously elected by a vote of the executive committee to run for this position in place of our president, Michael Henry Hayden, who's unable to serve at this time. In the rest of this letter, I'll briefly introduce the coalition and then myself for your consideration. The Lincoln Heights Community Coalition was formed in September 2020 by a group of neighbors concerned about the proposed development of over 400 luxury apartments on former industrial land on Avenue 34. Since then, the LHCC has worked to raise awareness in our community of the impacts of this proposed development and encourage our neighbors to let their voices be heard at public meetings. We posted meeting announcements and distributed flyers. We printed banners and garnered some 3,000 signatures on a petition opposing the development. We've reached out to and been represented by the media, and we've been working with environmental agencies and organizations to insist on testing for toxic chemicals at the site. As part of our neighborhood engagements, we've worked with schools in the area, including the LA Leadership Academy, obtaining from their principal permission for teachers to engage students in activism in their community. As you saw at the council's last meeting when Youth Representative Diana Tran was elected and spoke so articulately, drawing young people into community activism around this issue has already had transformative impact. We are so proud of you, Diana. I began my own life in community activism at a young age as well. I first spoke in person at a city council meeting at the age of 6. At that time, I lived in Ocean Park, a diverse neighborhood in Santa Monica, then primarily composed of low-income renters. In those days, the neighborhood's original 19-teens housing stock had fallen into disrepair, and increasing numbers of single-family homes were being replaced by developers and non-resident property owners with multi-story market-rate apartment buildings that featured significant restrictions on who could live in them. Community transformation was being forced upon long-term residents And as renters, we had no rights except to speak up. That drew me to the podium, asking city council members, what do you think it feels like to ride my scooter around my neighborhood and see signs go up everywhere that say, adults, no pets? Where is the place for me and kids like me in my own neighborhood? My mother raised me in an activist household, and we fought for equity in issues like rent control and for the environment in supporting transformative endeavors like the Coastal Commission. I grew up understanding that every voice could matter if we organized and remained committed. My husband and I moved to Lincoln Heights in 1993, leveraging everything we had to buy a home here. It was not long before we got one of those notices in our mailbox advising us of a meeting about a proposed development that would level the top of Mount Olympus, the ridgeline extending down from the radio tower along Avenue 33 to the south and Griffin Avenue to the north, planning to put more than 30 market rate single-family homes on the lopped-off ridge. Talking with neighbors, we formed a devoted group building a coalition to organize and resist a development that would have overwhelmed local families, schools, streets, and infrastructure, as well as causing irreparable harm to the local environment, eliminating species habitat, diverting rainwater to storm drains, and removing a viewshed resource the whole city can enjoy. It took many years, but that land is now a city park open to the public. In my day job, I'm a teacher and a scholar. I'm an associate professor of geography at California State University, Fullerton. My research centers on Los Angeles and California and on a lifetime commitment to preserving the past and making it meaningful in the present. For over 20 years, my research has been community engaged. I'm part of and seek to give back to the communities I do research with. My career and privileged position as a public scholar and public intellectual have lent me skills and time that I've consistently invested in volunteer service on nonprofit museum boards. In total, this amounts to a cumulative 44 years of volunteer board service to 5 organizations, not all of them concurrently, including serving as secretary to 4, chair of executive director searches at 2, redrafting bylaws at 4, writing grants at 2, deflecting a hostile takeover at 1, and being active in new and ongoing initiatives at them all. Because the 2 organizations I'm most involved with, the Museum of Neon Art in Glendale and the Bodie Foundation in Bridgeport, now have strong new leadership, and because significant grant funding has reduced my teaching load, I have time to devote to new community service efforts. About me, I'm a middle-aged white native Angelino, born to immigrant parents, English is my second language, and raised by a single mother in a low-income household. I'm a first-generation homeowner, proud to call Lincoln Heights home for 28 years. I'm eager to bring my energy and skills to the Neighborhood Council, to represent the Lincoln Heights Community Coalition on the council, and ever committed to community, equity, and environment, to the good work that our neighborhood relies on. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you.
All right, Divya, thank you. All right, so
We open it up to board comment, or does any board member have any questions?
any board members have any questions for Divya?
I believe Richard did.
Fernanda?
Hi. Yes, thank you, Didier, for that wonderful statement. I do have a few questions for you. I'll just brief it up into 3. The first is I'd like to know more about what the nonprofit you're involved with does and what your contribution to that was. As well, with Lincoln Heights outside of Avenue 34, what is your involvement with Lincoln Heights? How are you integrated into our community? And lastly, I'd like to know more about your availability. We do need members to be available for these meetings. We need to make quorum and ideally on time. So I'd like to know if that's doable for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Fernanda. I'll try to remember what all those questions were. Your first question was about my involvement in the community. So I spoke about my first major involvement in the community, which was converting a proposed development into public parkland over a period of many years. That has been as an achievement, as something that was successful. That's the main grounding point of community activism in Lincoln Heights that I can proudly say that I've been part of, because it's something that, well, it's at least almost finished. We're still hoping for more futures, and we're always still talking about that. Since I've lived here for a long time, and I'm an avid walker, cyclist, runner, dog walker. I talk with all my neighbors. I can name almost every person in every house up and down Griffin Avenue where I live, and on Avenue 33 where I live. I've known people who've lived here since in their families since the 1890s, since World War I. And I'm a collector in that sense of the community's history. And because preservation is a really significant part of my work and my life. My husband and I restored our 1885 house, and even though it falls outside of the Lincoln Heights HPOZ, we landmarked it, so it's preserved as a historic cultural monument, so that no one, after we're gone, no one in the future will be able to destroy it. That also is a point of neighborhood involvement and activism. Well, can you remind me of what your second question was, Fernanda?
Availability, I believe it was.
Right.
I thought that was the third one. I'm happy to answer.
Right. No, it was just that, the involvement, your availability. And one more thing, I actually do want to throw in another question in there. Aside from availability, what are your thoughts on gentrification and the current displacement of the low-income residents of Lincoln Heights?
Oh, thank you for adding that. I'll turn to that right now. I began to address that in my letter because I grew up with that. It wasn't called gentrification in the 1970s when people like me were being displaced in Ocean Park, which is now a very, very wealthy neighborhood, right? I mean, it's beachfront Santa Monica. It is a really rich neighborhood, and it was a low-income community of it wasn't predominantly a community of color, but it was significantly so. And nearly all of those people were replaced. Nearly all of the renters were completely displaced by development. So of what were already in the 1980s $1 million condos, huge developments. And then the surrounding houses that remained had their tenants evicted, and those rents were raised. So my family were renters in one house from when I was 5 until I was evicted by the landlord in my 20 years, more than 20 years later. So I saw what is now called gentrification firsthand. I've seen that coming and changing Lincoln Heights as well. But a lot of what's happening in our neighborhood now is also more complicated, because I've also seen many of my neighbors, I will say, aging out as parents grow older. They don't need as large of a home, or their children move them in with the children in another home, and then the parents pass away, and the children decide to sell the house that their parents bought, possibly often in this case, it's in the 1970s. That transmits income into that family that bought a house for perhaps $20,000 in the 1970s, thinking of one house in particular that I looked up recently, and they could sell it for close to $1 million now. That's significant benefit to that family. And I don't know that anyone would begrudge a family of that. So I do see that as different from when developers have come in, as what happened when I was a child, and building large upper income developments. That's what's proposed for Avenue 34, is a large development of mostly market rate units, and the low income units are still not low income enough to meet the standards for the median income in this neighborhood. So that qualifies by what I understand as academic. I'm a geographer, so urban geographers have been writing about gentrification for a long time. and that's the kind of gentrification that a lot of them write about. So there's a definite tension going on between individual people choosing to sell their homes and the fact that property values have risen so astronomically around the city that it now has become impossible for most any of us who've been here for a long time to afford to buy a house in our own neighborhoods, right?
Deanna, due to our time, we have to cut our statements down because we're running the meeting too long. So if we could just cut them down a little bit.
The question about availability. So our bylaws state that our meetings are on the first and third Thursday of the month from 6 to 9 p.m. Now, you know, in the future, it could be changed because we are a majority new board and we can change the bylaws. But that's down the road. But these meetings are mandatory. If you miss, you know, so many in a row, it's grounds for removal.
So Sarah and Fernanda, because they've read my emails, I sent them an email question earlier this morning after I was nominated as the only person from the Lincoln Heights Community Coalition who is willing and able to serve. I sent them an email this morning, and then when I submitted my letter, I asked again. I didn't hear back. My question was about my availability. As I mentioned, I'm a university professor and I've been assigned to teach on Thursday afternoons. My class ends at 6:45. I might be able to end it a little bit early, but I would be late to a series of meetings that would happen beginning in September and running through November. I would not miss the meeting, but I would miss the beginning of the meeting. I would be tardy and I would do all the work. So I would not miss all the meetings. I would be at the next few meetings until the semester starts, and then I would be at the meetings after that. So that's a question that I can't answer, and I'm very willing to ask my department chair if I can reschedule my class. It's not likely, as students have already registered. It's certainly worth a try, and I'm very happy to try that.
Okay. Our bylaw, you know, what can I say? I can't give you a definitive answer. I mean, our bylaws state, you have to read the bylaws, or we have so many excused, so many unexcused, all this stuff. But I mean, like you're saying, it's from September to November. We can figure something out by, like, in the interim, I think. So
I've read the bylaws and I understand there's a difference between excused absences and unexcused absences, and that there's permission to leave a meeting early. It doesn't say anything about permission to join a meeting late. So this might be something that could be worked out, and I'm very happy to work on it. And my presence will not be interrupted after December, or after the end of November when the semester ends.
yeah, okay. So any other board member comments for Dedia?
Yes. We got Diana, but just a reminder, because we're going over on time here, try to keep the responses and the questions to the point. Diana?
Gotcha. Yes, gotcha. Okay, thank you very much. And Lydia, you seem very dedicated to go to change your class time and everything. And I see that you're very qualified for your position. I just like to ask, what is your proudest achievement involving the community of Lincoln Heights? Because you've been involved with a lot of things. I want to know what is your proudest?
My proudest achievement related to Lincoln Heights or to the Community Coalition specifically? I couldn't quite understand you, Diane.
Lincoln Heights. Lincoln Heights.
Well, I mean, it's really the two things that I mentioned. I love this community so much, and I'm so happy to call it my home for 28 years. But the two things that I'm really, really proud of are restoring one of Lincoln Heights' oldest houses exactly as it was when it was new in 1885. We had to undo significant alterations, and the restoration is a long process. And also really the work that a group of us did collectively to save the hillside from development. And what was so inspiring about that is not only that we protected our community, but that the other people who we drew into that group continued on a path of community activism and were inspired to become community activists and work on other projects. So that activism radiated outward, and that kind of seeing that spread in the neighborhood makes me really pleased and really happy.
Right, any more board member comments for Didia?
We got Ben.
All right, Ben.
My question, and maybe you covered this, I've had some trouble here on my audio. The bylaws require that you are either an executive officer or you have a written letter from your organization on their letterhead allowing you to represent them.
Okay.
Yes, thank you, Ben. I'm aware of that. As I mentioned, and you may not have been able to hear, our organization voted last night. The executive council or executive committee of our organization voted only last night, and 2 of the executive committee are out of town. One is out of state. One is on a family emergency. So the letter hasn't been formally drafted yet, but as I'm the secretary of the board, so an elected officer and part of the executive committee, I'll be the one who drafts that letter. So I'll be happy to send that. We don't have a formal letterhead.
I can attest, so I checked the legitimacy of the org. She's on the board.
Okay.
Yeah, she's on the list of board members on the Articles of Incorporation.
Okay.
All right.
That answers the question.
Okay, cool.
Okay, Richard Larson.
Thank you. Didia, I fully support what you've done with the Lincoln Heights Community Coalition. You know, I'm a big fan of that whole effort, and I'm looking forward to working with you once we get over these few little details here. So what I'm noticing is on our current agenda, what it says is it's specifically announcement of open seats. Okay, and then it announces those open seats, and then including the treasurer. And according to our bylaws, this is totally irregular. I think Jackie Kim already weighed in on that, but I hope what I'm saying is, while I support you, more than 100%, I'm going to have to recuse myself because I don't think any of this voting is correct, because the same agenda is announcing an open seat at the same time we're voting, and it's just not done. It's against at least one of our laws, and while I would be, favorably inclined, I'm not saying how I'm going to vote, but of course I think you probably know, but I just can't go ahead with this procedure today. It's wrong.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you, Didia.
It's listed on the agenda for July 1st, therefore it's been time.
And I was made aware of the availability of the position in the July 1st meeting because it was announced at the July 1st meeting that the position was available. And that's when I immediately went to my board and contacted them. So the only way I knew about it was because I was present at your meeting. And so thank you, Richard, for your careful points as a parliamentarian that show your expertise in having served the council for so many years. We all appreciate that.
Thank you, Didia. The interesting point is only people who attended that meeting would know that. And that's not what's considered a Brown Act compliant agenda.
Actually,
So
it's on the agenda,
this is all wrong, and just saying something in a meeting doesn't really matter. You could even put it in the minutes and it wouldn't matter. The thing that the Brown Act calls for is for things to be agendized, and we see it on this agenda and it's not on the next one. So
Thank you, Richard.
On July 1st agenda.
Actually, can I prove Richard wrong? I don't know what the correct is.
Hold on. Yeah, hold on one second.
There's no
Melanie.
with board members.
Hello?
I'm the president, so I'm talking, I'm kind of mediating. So any other board members have comments?
Yes.
You got Melanie? Hold on, Diana. Sarah, let's just go over the rules with them. Don't unmute yourself unless you're recognized by the chair.
I have to recognize you, or me and Vince, or Vince have to recognize you according to EBG. You cannot unmute yourself and speak.
Melanie was next on the board member.
Melanie. Yeah.
I'll make it quick. Didia, thanks so much for being here and for your statement. It was great to hear and learn more about you. I just want to make a really quick point about Didia because she does live on the street near mine. And I've seen, I think this is important, I've seen Didia not call the cops on people that I know other people would have. And that meant a lot to me as a member of this community. And I just feel like that needed to be stated. Didia is a great neighbor. That's all I wanted to say.
Right. Any other board member comments?
Diana Tran?
Diana?
Yes, so what Richard said about the position, that's actually wrong. I was made aware of so there's an Instagram post by the Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council, right? And on the June 16th post, it lists 6 available seats, which include the business representative, the community-based organization rep, area 4 resident, area 5 at-large representative, and the youth representative. So I think the position has actually been advertised for months now. I'm sorry for my wording, by the way.
No, thank you.
Thank you, Diana. Okay, so anyone other board member questions?
I don't see any.
All right, let's move to public questions. Any public questions?
Anybody in the public has a question, you can do so by pushing *9 or raise your hand. I don't see any.
All right, so motion to vote for Didia or to vote.
Fernanda?
Do I make the motion?
No, I'll
Motion to
make the
vote.
motion. I'll make the motion to vote. She's going on community-based organization rep.
Yes.
I make the motion for Didia. Did I say her name right? Lydia?
Didia.
Didia for community-based organization. Is there a second?
Oh,
Second.
I'll second that.
Okay.
So first, we have a second. We're going to take it for a vote. Bernie?
All right, I will now start vote. Sarah?
Yeah. Yes.
Ben?
Yes.
Fernanda, with all due respect, no. William?
Okay. I don't think William is present at this meeting.
Nancy?
Yes.
Benny?
Yes.
Diana?
Yes.
Richard Larson, recused. Annalee?
Yes.
Melanie?
Yes.
Victor?
Yes.
Diego?
Yes.
Richard?
No,
Steve?
absolutely.
Selena?
Yes.
Chente?
Yes.
All right.
Did I say something? My name hasn't been called,
Okay.
Sarah.
Gil?
Yes.
Do not unmute yourself. All right.
13 yeses, 2 nos.
Okay. 14 yeses, 2 nos. The motion.
13.
13. 13 yeses, 2 nos. The motion carries. Didia DeLizer is the CBO. All right.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Didia. Okay. Now we're going to move on to the other item. This community impact statement / letter. Now this one, Fernie already read, but I could just read it again, unless Fernanda wants to read it. We put the CIS on the screen. B. All right. So this is the Dodgers Dreamfields.
Discussion and possible action on letter community impact statement to LA City Council and Park and Recreations to halt the seizure of public green space in historic Lincoln Park. Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council requests the Parks and Recreation unlock the 2 Dodger Dreamfields at Lincoln Park and make them available for public use at all times. Misappropriation of public parks to corporate entities that serve the select few violates public park policy and is inequitable in a park poor community of color where 62.4% of the children live below the federal poverty line.
All right, so I'm just going to preface this statement with the, you know, the kind of a little background information. But, you know, at Lincoln Park, we have these two Dodgers Dreamfields, one for boys, one for girls. And they were built last year. They were $1 million. I don't know if they were 1 million each or separate, but as a partnership, a public-private partnership with Parks and Rec and the Dodgers Foundation. It's a, hold on a second, who's making the noise? Oh,
It's William.
So, you know, this is public space, the public park, Lincoln Park, it's public land, and there are rules with public park land that it can't be commercialized, that you can't privatize public assets, that the land should be accessible to all. In this instance, these two parks are exclusive, therefore, they're only for kids that enroll in this program of the Dodgers Dreamfield program. You know, perhaps you have parents that can, you know, be proactive in their sports careers, but for most of the time, when there aren't leagues playing that are registered Dodgers leagues in that system, the parks are locked. And so I have a supplemental document of the actual locked park. So in Lincoln Park, in the center of our park, where the old ball field used to be, now it's these sort of locked cages that, you know, they're inaccessible to the kids. And even just, you know, I think even like local teams that want to play, they have to get a permit, you know, I don't even think they can access those. So it's all in the documents. We just, we're seeking, we want, it's the principle of the parkland. It should be accessible to the people of Lincoln Heights. This is an underserved community of, you know, kids that have limited green space and, you know, there's no public park space. So it's just inequitable for the Dodgers to sort of make these spaces exclusive and inaccessible. And it's not my opinion, but it's actually like, you know, goes with the documents of policy of parks.
Let me, Sarah, then I would like to make a motion so we can open it up for discussion and possible action on it.
All right.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the community impact statement opposing CF21 -0552 21 season youth baseball, girls softball 2021 Dodger receiving baseball intercity RBI program, Los Angeles Dodger Fund grant and in-kind contribution. Is there a second?
I second that.
I second.
Okay.
Cool.
Board discussion. I seen Ben.
All right.
Yeah, my question was, would that interfere with the use of the ball field for Lincoln High School or other school uses at various times for games?
Yeah, I don't think that those schools don't use these fields unless they have some contract, because this is strictly for the RBI program.
Okay.
Well, we could look deeper into that, but I mean, they're locked for any kid that wants to go throw a ball and hit it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All day. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. William Morris.
Hey. William Marson, do you have a question or I mean a comment?
Yes, a comment, because, you know, I don't remember that park was always open, that field was open to everybody, even when I coached there years and years ago. So if the Dodgers are trying to restrict it or anything, it should be open to the public. It's a public park. And that is underneath the city ordinance as well. So I will stand behind, I guess, the city councilman that it should be used for the community. And I know the Dodger Field of Dreams, when I looked at everything that's in our area in the Northeast, there's only two fields, one in Boyle Heights and one in Lincoln Heights. So we are really being discriminated about fields and neglected. The Dodgers have more in other areas that are not poverty areas than they do here in the Northeast. So I think they should really build more
for the recreation, since they are the LA Dodgers that represent the city, more for some of these other poverty communities as well.
Thank you.
All right.
Richard Larson?
Yes, thank you very much. Well spoken, William. Thank you for saying that. So first of all, the department that you're referring to in the CIS does not exist. However, I get the idea what was intended. What policy is in this CIS referring to? There is no mention of what policy this addresses. To have another look at this, the NC should invite the Department of Recreation and Parks to explain why this is why this practice exists to lock the fields. How can it be accessed by the public? Is this done everywhere? And another point is, can the neighborhood council sponsor field time? The Recreation and Parks Department can explain all of this, but it helps before making a vote. The defund motion looks reckless without having some dialogue. We don't know the facts, but we want to hold them accountable. How does taking money improve tactics or equipment that may be contributed to the improvement? And with crime up, how is that better? I don't get it.
This is all included in other supplemental documents that are on the website of not only it has the motion, the resolution, and actually the agreement between Parks and Rec and the Dodgers Foundation with all the numbers. And then other articles from the past about teams getting locked out and the selective locking of gates at the whim of the Dodgers.
I think if you're addressing me, I think you're jumping the fence a little bit. Well, the point I'm trying to make is, why don't we, before we rush out with the CIS, which by the way has no resonance outside of Lincoln Heights and perhaps Chinatown, somebody should look into the political purpose of having a CIS in the first place. The wording should be changed so it refers to an actual city department. And then the point is, I'm not sure that those documents they're referring to are even publicly accessible, and we should have a dialogue with the Department of Recreation and Parks to explain why this is the practice. We need to know more before voting on it.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Richard, Area Rep 5.
Hello, Richard Ortiz, Area Rep 5. I just got a quick comment. I agree they should be open, because I go to the skate park and most of the kids right there, they're just running around and playing ball, which they could get hurt, Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Richard. And then I'd like to make a comment on it. I have a lot of history with corporations going into public parks and commercializing for branding of their products that they use to build consumerism within the community, especially our children. They want to grab them young. I don't know if anybody remembers some of the fights we had with Pepsi Cola and the Pepsi parks and Coca-Cola. Some of those arguments that we had in litigation were based upon the city violating the law on the parks, but also allowing corporations to come in and commercialize. The parks were deemed to be used for public access at all times, that there should not be nothing that wasn't open and green. Some of the use of the green space was actually in the litigation of it. So the fact that they even branded the scoreboard, they're branding the uniforms, they're branding everything, it's definitely a great market gimmick to put out there. But I think it's wrong. And I think the city Department of Recreation Parks Commissioners overstepped it by approving this. And so I do agree that the places do have to be open up to the public. We shouldn't even need a permit process on there. These are public spaces. Restrictions have caused huge amounts of problems on recreation and parks. We even have problems with people buying out the permits and reselling them. You know, we have that in the soccer fields, we have that in baseball fields, and most nonprofits that participate in that are part of the problem in it. So I do think that these things need to be open, And definitely whenever the Dodgers in the future want to produce any type of funding for our youth, they should do so without having to brand all the stuff. Thank you. Steve.
I just wanted to weigh in as well and just say that I agree. I think that they should be open spaces. And if you want to know why, you can ask later.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
I think we go to the public now.
All right, any public comments on this item?
Anybody in the public that wishes to make a comment can do so by raising their little hand or pushing *9.
Dodgers Dreamfields, any public comments?
I don't see any.
Oh, there's one.
Oh, hold on. There is one.
Mhm.
Alex.
Hi, Alex.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, board. My name is Alex Rodriguez. I'm a yoga teacher at the Lincoln Heights Youth Arts Center. I just want to echo what's been said. Those fields should be open for the children to use. Pre-pandemic, I can just tell you from firsthand experience how busy that center is and all the kids that are running in and out all afternoon long for these programs. And even outside the center, there's very limited space for these kids to actually play outside. I don't see what the point would be of going to the Department of Parks and Rec to ask why it should never have even been locked in the first place. And also what's strange to me is that there are two. Why are they gendered? Why is there a park for boys and why is there a park for girls? That just seems like another opportunity for the Dodgers to continue to brand themselves. And also just seems like it's a part of this PR campaign that they've been on for the past 50, 60 years since they displaced the people that were living up on that hill when they built Dodger Stadium. So yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and say that as a community member, those gates should be open and the children should be allowed to use them as they would like. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Any other public comments?
No more public comment.
All right, so then we're going to take it to a vote. Does anybody want a motion?
We have the motion already. We just need to go to the vote. We have a motion and a second on the item. It's just Fernanda, if you could take the vote.
Take the vote, please.
All right, I will now start the vote. Sarah?
Yes.
Ben?
Yes.
Amanda, yes. William?
Yes.
Nancy?
Yes.
Benny?
Yes.
Diana?
Yes.
Richard Larson?
Abstain.
Annalee?
Yes.
Melanie?
Yes.
Victor?
Yes.
Diego?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Selena?
Yes.
Chente?
Yes.
Right.
Gil?
Gil Arevalo?
Yes.
Okay.
15 yeses, 1 abstain.
All right. So the motion carries. So this letter will be distributed. All right. On to the next item. Discussion. Okay, so this is item C, discussion and possible action on a letter or community impact statement to city planning regarding Council File 20-1314, Transit-Oriented Communities, TOC, Affordable Housing Incentive Program / Guidelines, Land Use Regulatory Control Revisions. Lincoln Heights is explicitly referred to in this motion. It was written by Gil Cedillo on, I think, October 13th, 2020. Let's See, so do we have the motion up there? All right. Should I just explain really quick? The TLC guidelines, these transit-oriented community constructions, you know, they're built along metro proximity, like in the, it's like a radiating, I don't know, it's like a rash across LA going along the metro of a high, a lot of it's like market rate, large scale, high density housing with some affordable units sprinkled in. It's kind of a developer perk to increase more market rate units to add more affordable units. And these affordable units aren't affordable. It relies on the RENA numbers, which are off. It says that like our median income is something that it's not. So when, for instance, the ones in Avenue 34 are, the 66 units are very low income and you have to make, geez, I forget how much it is. It's like 35,000 something. And it's like, we don't make that much. We're like extremely low income, but it's about like this, it's like a state level program. They have to, it has to be revised to suit the needs of every individual community. You know, they're being placed in low income communities, historic low income communities in particular, and then also ones that are on like post-industrial toxic sites. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll make the motion to accept the community impact statement for city planning regarding transit-oriented communities, affordable housing incentive program, guideline land use, regulatory control revisions, Lincoln Heights, is explicitly referred to in the motion dated 10/13/20, and this is for Council File 20-1314, related CF 16-0684, CF 20-0189. Is there a second?
Second that.
Okay. And then board comment,
Any board comments?
Sarah?
Any board member comments?
Melanie?
Hey, not exactly related, but is Adelia going to be able to vote in this meeting similar to Diana last meeting?
Yes.
Question.
Yes, since she's been voted in, she's like the board now, but she can't vote on funding items.
Okay, so Didier can be on this vote. And we also have the motion on our website, and then we have like supporting information. Yeah, Lincoln Heights is mentioned explicitly in this. This council file was written after the Avenue 34 hearing, and how the community turned out and showed like, hey, we're not being represented, like nobody's listening to us. So that was, you know, Cedillo kind of trying to. He's positing it like Lincoln Heights is sort of, it's already been decided. It was a kind of like it's too late for them, but maybe we can change something for the future for other neighborhoods. We're saying like, hey, buddy, like, hey, like, let's start now. It's not over. So.
Thank you, Sarah.
My comment.
That's okay. Richard Larson?
Yes, thank you. While I support the idea in general, there's no political strategy and evidence. Did you know the California legislature is trying to undo such community victories statewide in one fell swoop via Senate Bill 9 by Atkins and Senate Bill 10 by Weiner? The Sierra Club and the Center for Biodiversity and a number of other environmental groups have weighed in against Senate Bill 10, and dozens of cities and neighborhood groups are firmly opposing Senate Bill 9. The LHNC numbers are being adjusted if anyone cares. Recently, the Department of City Planning staffer held a housing element meeting. He said that they'll be releasing a map of all areas in the city that will be lined up for increased zoning density, but they refuse to say where this will be. Anyway, calling out racism is grandstanding, in my opinion. The neighborhood council system was formed to give entitlement to our communities. While we agree that on the issue, blaming government only heightens our own culpability. You cannot blame government because you are government. We are blaming ourselves. Is that what the writer intended? Let's get a grip on how this appears to anyone who is a stakeholder. It looks like we are shooting ourselves in the foot.
All right. Thank you,
Thank
Richard.
you.
Any more board member comments?
I don't see any.
All right. Any public comments? Please raise your little hand or press *9. No?
I don't see any.
Okay, so we have a first and a second on this. So we take it to a vote, correct?
Yes.
Bernie? So we can repeat the motion.
All right, so I will now go to vote. Sarah,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Fernanda, yes. William? William? Nancy?
Yes.
Benny?
Yes.
Diana?
Yes.
Richard Larson?
Abstain.
Annalee?
Yes.
Melanie?
Yes.
Victor?
Yes.
Diego?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Selena?
Yes.
Gente?
Yes.
Gil?
Yes.
Didia?
Yes.
And William, I vote yes. I had to step away.
Okay, thank you, William.
And Watts votes yes.
Watts voted yes. Yeah. All right, so Fernie, what's the totals?
$17 yeses, 1 abstain.
All right, and the motion carries. Letter will be sent. All right. Here we go. Number D. Item D. Discussion and possible motion regarding Avenue 34 development. 468 residential units with 16,395 square feet of commercial space. The mixed-use transportation-oriented communities TOC project at 141 West Avenue 34. DIR 2019-6048, TOC SPR WDI, and ENV 2016-273-MND-REC1, REC1. Yeah, so this was never voted on by our board. And so we're gonna vote on it. So this is for Avenue 34.
Okay, let me make the motion.
Oh, yeah.
I make the motion regarding Avenue 34, 468 residential unit, 468 residential units with 16,395 square feet commercial mixed use transient community project at 14 West Avenue 34, DIR -209-6048 TOC SPR WDI and ENV 2016-273-MND REC1. Is there a second?
Anybody second this?
I'll second.
All right.
Board discussion.
For discussion, any board member questions, discussion, board members? Raise your hand, please.
Okay, Richard?
Yes, hi. We actually had this on 7 board meetings, and we voted against it. So I don't know what is the purpose of voting again for the 8th time. This is no secret. The board was voted on this. We held hearings. We had the Planning and Land Use Committee voted no on it. And our position on it is well-founded. I just don't get the political strategy needs to be considered. This project was canceled in May. It looks great for summer reading, but really this does not address the main concern that the pollution is still here, yet there are no ropes, barricades, and basically no one cares. Thank you for all the documents, but shouldn't we be forming a CIS that asks for protection from this disaster? Who owns it now? The DCP rubber stamped it. Robert DeForest said he'd be fine with his kids playing in the sand there. So please wake up to our reality. There's an elementary school right across the street that reopened recently and no one seems to care. This is not about inequity, this is about saving lives, so the approach here is lacking in my opinion. We already need 10 times the drilling to assess the soil conditions, the layers, the water level, and the sand lenses that continue to pose significant health threats. Can we say something like that? We are writing very long letters that no one will read past the first paragraph. Please, let's be succinct.
Okay, Richard, this
Thank
isn't a
you.
letter. Thank you. This is not a letter, it's a vote. Any other public board member comment?
We have Deanne Tran.
Yeah, hi. So, if I recall correctly, this is the one where they had 22. I read some of the supplemental reading that you sent us, Ms. Sarah, and they, I believe there was 22 members of Andrew Gray. They had 22 outside people call in, to pretend to be residents of Lincoln Heights. Is this what it's referring to?
No, we're actually voting on the development. We're not voting on any letter. We're voting on the development, yes or no?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is not a letter, no statement. This is just like hands down a vote. This is just on the project. I mean, I could read the whole council file, but it's like 300, probably, I think it's about like 7,000 pages. But it's on our website if you want to see every detail of the project. But right now we're just voting on the actual development.
Okay, let me get the next board member. I can't say the name, but it's.
Thank you. Thank you, Dedia DeLizer. I appreciate that. I just wanted to say, on behalf of the Lincoln Heights Community Coalition, who I represent here on the board, the developer continues to insist that they're moving forward with the project. And many of you who live near the proposed development will have gotten letters in your mailbox from the developer in the last 2 weeks or so that said how, oh, they're just taking care of all the environmental problems and everything is moving forward splendidly. So I want to thank the council for taking action and know that the Lincoln Heights Community Coalition supports that action. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
Any other board member comments?
Oh, Steve.
Steve?
I just want to thank Delilah for your great assistance in all this. I appreciate it much more than Richard's negative nonsense.
All right. Any other board members?
Okay.
Point of order. Yes.
Richard, hold on. You haven't been recognized by the chair. And
you don't need recognition with a point of order.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So
first of all, the point of order is that somebody just attacked me personally, and I think that's not a very good thing to do. We're called a council. We've been elected to represent people. And when you silence people like that and accuse them of things where there's no foundation, you have no idea how I'm going to vote. So making slanderous statements like that is unhelpful, and the chair should recognize that, because what you're doing is opening the door to grievances.
I recognize April 30th when you slandered many board members. So we're going to quash this.
See, now there's another point of order. You're accusing me of things, and I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's a video document. It's actually the actual council hearing or meeting. Okay. So
well, why are you bringing that up? You're accusing me of things, and it's just unfair. I think you just opened the door to two.
Your first warning.
Right. Excuse me. this is Jackie. Can I ask that this is completely off topic right now, so we just need to stick to that matter at hand, which is the agenda item and the vote in front of us.
I agree.
So let's get, any more board member comments, please raise your hand.
Yes, we had that. Let me see, Deanna. I don't know if you had your hand up from the last one or.
Oh, yeah. So I want to follow Didia's example, and as somebody who is as a youth representative and somebody who's spoken to the youth of like the neighborhood within my school, within my friend group, the youth impression of this project is actually very negative. They fear that it will cause rents to rise up. And because there have been students that have already been like evicted prior to like the project due to like similar events with gentrification, they're worried that this project will lead to well, the same thing happening if it gets approved.
Okay, thank you, Diana. Any more board member comments?
Benny?
Yeah, just a logistical point, like I didn't quite hear that we were opposed. I mean, I'm sorry, on the motion, I didn't quite hear whether we were for or against it. I just want to make sure that we're explicit
Penny,
and with our motion.
This is not a letter. This is a vote for the project, so we cannot like tell the board how to vote. You vote.
No, but the board is a motion to oppose the project itself. I made that in the beginning. I added in when I read, D was the motion to oppose Avenue 34. It's not written in there, but I made the motion, so I made the motion to oppose the project.
Okay, gotcha, Vincent.
Right.
Thanks. I didn't hear that.
Okay.
So we had a second on that motion as well.
We don't have no more board comment, public.
Any more
If
public?
anybody in the public has comment, you can do so by, okay, hold on. We got a public comment.
Nacho? Hey,
Okay.
Patty?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, hi, good evening, everyone. My name's Patty Camacho. I live on Avenue 34 across the street from this project. And I, along with my neighbors and the Lincoln Heights Community Coalition, congratulations, Didia, by the way, we submitted the original appeal to the City Planning Commission. And I just want to say, like, it really has been amazing to see such active participation from residents, our community members, and to all come, be united to become more informed about this development, and really insist that our voices be heard and that our valid concerns be acknowledged, and not just with the Avenue 34 project, but with other developments in Lincoln Heights as well. And so I don't think we would have come this far without this united effort. And, there are a multitude of issues with the Avenue 34 project. And the most pressing issue is the recent environmental reports, which have proven what we suspected all along, which was that the soil is highly contaminated. And these are toxins that are known to cause cancer, immune disorders, birth defects, and that's just a few of them. And as residents of Lincoln Heights, we have the right to live in a safe environment where we're not going to be discriminated against for our race, our color, or income. And we really should not have to bear the negative consequences resulting from industrial and commercial operations. And so, when we think about the students of Hillside Elementary, we want to protect them. They're going to be going back to school in a month. And, as they play on the playground, we want to make sure that there's no fear that the air and vapors that they're breathing, water that they're drinking, could potentially harm their health now or in the future. And so we really need to demand that DTSC protect us and keep us informed, and that the developers are held to the highest standards of safety. These tests are going to continue, and the potential of cleanup beginning. We want to make sure that we're safe, and that DTSC may hopefully even determines that this development shouldn't even break ground. So I appreciate that the council is having this discussion on this motion and the letter to DTSC. And I encourage all of you in the audience to also write letters. I know there was someone here, Jessica Swan. I was very happy to hear that you're here. You know, I look forward to having continued conversations about this and hope that you can help us to trust DTSC to really remediate this effectively, because we haven't been able to trust the developers who have continuously lied to our community. And I think the motion for this project is clear. I don't see why this council would support a project that is putting current residents at risk. And it's really only benefiting the developers and city officials. And the people of Lincoln Heights really deserve environmental justice and over the profits that these developers would make. So thank you. And thank you for, again, for putting this discussion and this motion on the agenda.
Thank you.
Looks like we have a.
1 second. Just 1 second. We got to let William back in. William kind of dropped off the. Let me just promote him to panelist. William, if you can hear us, if you can just hit that little button to accept the panelist, it'll move. Okay, there you go. Okay, Sarah.
All right. So any more public comments on this item?
I don't see any more public comment.
Okay, so I guess now we're going to take it to a vote, right?
Yes.
All those opposed, right? So it's opposed.
So I'll now take votes. Sarah?
Oh,
I'm
so
sorry.
it's, are you for this project or against? No, right?
No, the motion was to oppose it. A yes vote will oppose it. A no vote doesn't do nothing. It just doesn't
Okay,
oppose
so
it.
yes, opposed.
Ben?
Yes.
Fernanda, yes. William? Nancy?
Yes.
Benny?
Yes.
Diana?
Yes.
Richard Larson?
Yes.
Annalee?
Yes.
Melanie?
Yes.
Victor?
Yes.
Diego?
Yes.
Richard Ortiz?
See.
Steve?
Yes.
Selena?
Yes.
Chente?
Yes.
Gil?
Yes.
William? Didia?
Yes.
It's unanimous. Seventeen yeses.
Right, so the motion carries. All right, so now.
Thank you.
Huh?
Nope, we're ready to move on to item F.
All right. Actually, we're on item E.
Is it E?
Yes, that's the letter to DTSC.
Okay, let me
Okay.
switch back and I'll bring that up.
So, I mean, Vince, should you just read this motion or should I? Because we were kind of double reading it.
No, if somebody else wants to make the motion, they can. Anybody can make the motion on it.
Oh,
I don't know if the president can, but I know anybody else can.
okay, so here's this one. All right, so E, discussion and possible action on letter to DTSC, Department of Toxic Substance Control, and LA City Planning Commission regarding the Avenue 34 DTSC report and results. Avenue 34 Development 141 West Avenue 34, Los Angeles 90031. DIR 2019-6048 TOC SPR WDI and ENV 2016 273 MND REC1. So this is would be a letter to DTSC and city planning.
So I'll make the motion. I'll make the motion to approve a letter to DTSC and City Planning Commission regarding Avenue 34, DTSC report and results. Avenue 34 development, 141 West Avenue 34, LA, California, 90031, DIR-201-6048-TOC-SPR-WDI and ENV-206-273-MND-REC1.
I'll second.
I'll second
Okay.
it too.
All right, so we'll open it up to board comments. Any board member comments?
Okay, give me 1 second. This little window when you open up and share. Okay, so let me unmute. Okay, they're unmuted already, I think.
Thank you. Were you calling me? It's Didia.
Didia, there we go.
Thank you. I just wanted to compliment the executive committee or whoever drafted this letter. You've done an outstanding job of poring over the documents and writing a letter that is both pointed and concise. And I appreciate all the points that you raised, the ways that you raised them, and I strongly support this letter. And I think so does the coalition that I represent. Thank you.
Any other board?
Thank you. Okay, any other board member comments? You can do so by raising your hand. So I just want to make a comment on the Avenue 34 with DTSC too. I think it's important for all of us to look at the scope, not just in Lincoln Heights, but also G1 and G2 and the history of DTSC and how they handle some of these projects. One thing to keep in mind with most of this land that the state's dealing with in the city is historically contaminated. You know, if you look at the G1, G2 land, it has been vacant for so many years because of the levels of toxicity, right? And, you know, the state agencies and city agencies and water agencies and environmental agencies have a habit of moving the bar to accept some of these projects while risking the health, safety, and welfare of the public. So I think, you know, I'm also on ARC and we've dealt with some of these projects in G1. I think Lincoln Heights and the ARC, which is the Alliance of River Communities, we should start getting together with other neighborhood councils to form an environmental group specifically targeting the state and the city on why these projects are even being considered on that toxic land. That's my only comment. Thank you. Sarah, I don't see anybody else on for the board comment. I think we just opened it up to public.
All right, public comments. Any public commentators? Anybody in the public want to comment on this? Raise your hand. Okay.
Jackie?
Perfect. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
All right, perfect. I did see this agenda item and I do have to advise that we've been advised by the city attorney's office that neighborhood councils cannot directly communicate with non-city entities. So that includes state and federal offices, departments and agencies, as well as like LA County, LAUSD and so on. And this is because the city attorney's office has ruled that the NC's role under the city charter is that they are advisory to city decision makers. And in order not to confuse the other non-city entities and for the city to speak with one voice, since NCs are a part of the city, they require that anything that falls outside the city entities needs to be communicated to them and not directly to other departments or organizations. So I do have to make that recommendation. It's up to the board if you want to actually take it or not, but we do advise that if you don't send it to DTSC, you can send it to your council member and they will communicate this to that department.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you.
We have Jessica Swan.
Hi, Jessica.
Thank you so much. Again, this is Jessica Swan. I am the public participation specialist from the Department of Toxic Substances Control. And I introduced myself earlier, but I also wanted to come in on here and let you guys know that I am a point of contact for community members for this project. So if you guys did want to reach out to me individually, please do so. And I'm be more than happy to have a dialogue about this conversation. I know I've spoken to a few of you recently, and Vincent and I have had discussions on ARC a couple of times because I'm also the public participation for G1 and G2. So if you guys have any questions, please email me. I can drop it into the Q&A, or Vincent Montalvo, if you could give any of that. I believe you have my information. If anybody has any questions, please let me know, and I can respond to them via email or a call.
Thank you, Jessica. I will share it with them. I don't see no more public comment, Sarah.
No comments. We're going to take it for a vote. So the motion was, can you repeat the motion?
The motion was to approve a letter to DTSC, Department of Toxic Substance Control, LA City Planning Commission, regarding Avenue 34 DTSC report results, Avenue 34 development, 141 West Avenue 34, Los Angeles, California, 90031, DIR 20196048 TOC, STR WDI, and ENV 2016273 MND REC 1.
All right. Secretary Sanchez, could we take a vote, please?
Sarah,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Fernanda, yes. William, Nancy,
Yes.
Benny,
William, yes.
Benny, yes.
thank you. Diana,
Diana, yes.
Richard Larson,
Yes.
Annalee,
Yes.
Melanie,
Yes.
Victor,
Yes.
Diego,
Yes.
Richard Ortiz,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Selena,
Yes.
Chente,
Yes.
Gil,
Yes.
Didia,
Yes.
it's 18 yeses.
Thank
Right.
you.
18 yeses, the motion carries. Letter approved for sending. Okay, so on to item F. Discussion and possible action on a letter / community impact statement to City Council seeking reparations for the residents of South LA and a 20% defunding of the LAPD in regard to June 30th, 2021 LAPD fireworks bombing of 700th block of East 27th Street, controlled detonation / illegal fireworks / LAPD bomb squad, Council File 21-0775. I believe we have somebody presenting on this tonight.
Okay, let me make the motion just to get it rolling, and then we can get the presenter on. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve the letter community impact statement to City Council seeking reparations for the residents of South LA and a 20% defunding of LAPD in regard to the 6/30/21 LAPD firework bombing, 700 700 block of East 27th Street, controlled demolition. Oh, the Detonation, illegal fireworks, LAPD bomb squad, council file 21-0775. Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, and then Sarah, you said that we had someone that's going to do a presentation.
Yeah, I don't, is Alfredo here? And the attendees, Alfredo Gama from,
That's what I'm checking
Oh,
now. Let me
LHNC.
see. I don't.
Alfredo, are you here?
Uh,
Raise your hand. Oh.
I don't. If you're on, there's a phone line. If you're on a landline, you can push *9. If you're Alfredo Gama,
Alfredo, are you here?
I don't see his name anywhere.
So he's not here.
Okay.
All right, well, the supporting documents are on our website. If you don't know the story, yeah, it's in the, I can repeat the story. I don't know what I should do right now, but
Well, just a brief.
you want to pull up the supporting document? It's called item F. It's called item F 715 blah 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 fireworks bombing.pdf. Okay. It's not our account. It's not our statement. It's another one. Item F. It's the second one there at the bottom. Not that.
Okay, second one. So it's a motion and statement for firework bombing, right?
So yeah, so this is the motion. So as you know, on June 30th, the LAPD seized 5,000 pounds of fireworks in South Central, and then proceeded to bring a detonation truck to the block. The facts are that they withheld 10 pounds and then exploded that in the truck. They didn't explode all of the fireworks, but in any case, it blew up the block. So this is Curran Price's motion on July, I think it's July 1st. He put this out, but he's asking for an inquiry into like an investigation inquiry into how to better protect the public, expedite a report on the failed operation, including what caused the explosion, all this stuff. Meanwhile, if you scroll down a little, Vince, or whoever's DJing this, if you scroll down a little bit, can you scroll on that document? All right. So this is Central Alameda NC's community impact statement to the city of LA. Yeah, so we have Spanish and English on here. All right.
And this file is on our website.
Yeah,
right?
scroll a little slower. So the demands, if you go back up, it's really, there's a lot in the press about what happened to the community, and basically after it happened, they were being ignored, and the press was actually called to the site before any neighborhood council leaders or before there was any outreach in the communities. The helicopters were in the sky, you know what I mean, before the thing was detonated. So the council was very, the community rose up. So this community impact statement is in solidarity with Central Alameda NC. And they're in solidarity with us, as they have, had us on they wrote a community impact statement about, Curran Price had co-signed a community impact statement with CDO to tow the oversized RV part of, to ban the overnight parking of oversized RVs in Lincoln Heights. So,
Okay, this one has already been, so we open it to board comment, and then maybe if anybody has more questions, we can answer them.
All right.
So the first one is Deanna Tran.
Hi. So what we have in front of us, we're we're just wondering whether to agree with them or not, right? Lincoln Heights residents were not affected by the explosion, or were they? Were Lincoln Heights
I mean,
residents
I mean, the actual statement, we're responding to the council file. So the council file is current price asking for an inquiry into like the LAPD to see how they could have better responded. It's not whether or not it affected, you know, and shrapnel cut people from Lincoln Heights. You know what I mean? It's across the board.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I just need that clarification.
Thank you. Richard?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Diana, for that observation. I'd like to add the LAPD is not being defunded for the reasons stated in the CIS. That has already been determined. We defunded the LAPD last year by 30%, but this neighborhood council wants to continue defunding. Do we know the facts? The report by the ATF has not even been released yet. And by the way, current price isn't asking to defund because of this. While I agree with the general move towards equity, this is not the way to do it. We will not be effective with this posturing that has no political plan. Thank you.
Thank you. William? William? Well,
Let me unmute. Can you hear me now? Can
Yes.
you hear me? Okay,
Yes.
defunding the police department is not the answer. We've already done that. Crime rate has raised 38%. And you got to remember, a police officer, when they leave their house, there's no guarantee they're going to come home. It's the same thing like my line of duty. So defunding the police department is not the answer. There should be more money put into the police department because of the programs that were cut that could have got rid of those fireworks before they even got sold. Because a lot of those departments, the crash unit is all gone. So I would do a no vote about defunding the police department. They need more funding and more manpower. Thank you.
Thank you. Melanie?
Thanks, Chente. I think what we have here is another community, this community in South LA who's put together what they are saying they need to move on from this experience. The community themselves that was negatively affected by this, that they've made clear what they believe they need to move forward in peace. And I think that as a neighborhood council, we need to be there to support them and not decide what we think they need, but support them in what they believe they need and really believe what they're saying. This is community members saying, how they've been affected and how they'd like to move forward. I think that should be our focus.
Thank you, Mel. Gilbert?
Yes, thank you. You got to remember how this started. This was started by an illegal act. The police were there and found that and everything else, and they decided and determined that in the safety of the public that they should detonate this. It's tragic that it went haywire, but they were doing their job and they should not be defunded. This is an illegal act, and we have sometimes things don't work out as well as they should, but it was not done deliberately or with malice and forethought or anything. So, and defunding the police is not the answer.
Thank you. Sarah? Oh, Fernanda.
Hi, yeah, thank you. I just want to further amplify what Melanie said about standing in solidarity with our fellow communities. I do understand that defunding the police is a new sort of notion to a lot of people, and it sounds scary to a lot of people. But I think it's important to recognize that currently the LAPD has over $3 billion in funding. That is an insane amount of money, and it has so many studies around across the nation have shown that majority of these funds are being misused by the police departments. And saying it's unfortunate what happened in South Central, it further proves the negligence of the police department. They can't carry out a simple thing because they are always harming the community. They only perpetrate the system of oppression of policing people of color, and attributing to the prison pipeline. Defunding the police doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be bad for our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Fernanda. Diana?
Yeah, so the defunding, so is the defunding the like cut 20% of their budget, and will that money be used to give financial relief, or will that money be redistributed? Because I would like to know what would be done with the money. I mean, I know this isn't like, I would rather them add to it so we know where exactly that money is going on, where that money is going after it's taken, if it's taken.
The community impact statement, like Melanie said, it's based on the needs of, South Central and their expressed desires and needs after the trauma. Okay, so we're not like inventing what we need. Now their demand is for that defunding to go towards reparations, meaning fixing what they destroyed, what the police destroyed in the community, and then also investing that money in the community. Because guess what? 78% of the LAPD don't live in the city of LA. We're sending $3 billion out of our city to improve other and actually build other communities instead of hiring police from our city, or hiring beat cops, or whatever. So it's like we're just hemorrhaging money out of our city. So I mean, it's like, even if you want the police to have all their funding, it's like, well, that money's not even staying in LA anyway. So yeah, that's my comment.
Fernanda, I think you have something to add.
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to say it was for reparations. And it is in the community impact statement. As a council member, we should all be reading these documents before the meeting so that we know what is being discussed. Thank you.
Yeah, and I just want to add to what some people say, that the first initial response was an illegal act. Well, in liability cases, that's never the case. The LAPD are trained professionals. In any aspect, whether you're at fault or not, you're liable for not following the rules. That explosion happened because of human error. Regardless, even if it was mechanical or equipment error, LAPD would be held liable under any other standards like a corporation. They would also be liable to pay damages to the people. This shouldn't even be a question, in my opinion, right? But yet, in underserved neighborhoods and underrepresented neighborhoods, disenfranchised neighborhoods, you can see that the treatment is way different. And I can tell you, because in the case that I worked on with the gas up in north of us, and what was it, in Simi Valley, somewhere up there, it was a totally different atmosphere, more rich neighborhood. You didn't have this discussion on who was going to get any type of funding or service by a DWP department. And this was because, again, they're underrepresented down there. So I think the merits that this was started in the beginning with an illegal activity has no weight here, and I support them 100%. And about the defunding, I do want to make a recommendation. Since they defunded the last time, there has to be a plan, like Diana was saying, on where this money is going, because if we defund it and give it back to the elected officials, why would we take that money away if it's not going directly to organizations that have been built within the community? We're allowing them to recycle that money back in and somehow get the PR that they made some type of effort to make the wrongs to right. And we got to keep that in mind on these deals when they defund certain departments. Thank you. Selena Ortega?
Hi, yeah, I just wanted to add, if any of our colleagues from South Central are here, there's a law firm that's actually representing the community members. It's Zapata and their law. I'm not sure if they've reached out to community members, but just in case if they haven't, they should get in contact also with them.
Elena, what was it called? Zapata?
Zapata Andler, well, Zapata, the last name Zapanta, Adler, ALDER, law.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I don't see no more board member comment. Oh, hold on, Benny.
Benny?
Yeah, just I wanted to echo the comments that were made in support of our fellow neighborhood council. If I mean, it's unconscionable what the police did. I mean, for example, well, one thing that isn't even mentioned is like the ringing in the ears, like the physical damage that was caused to our fellow Angelenos down in South Central. And so we need to support, if they're saying this is what they need to make them whole, then we need to support them, because we would want the same if it happened to us.
Mhm.
Thank you, Benny.
Thank you, Benny. No more public comment on my end, Sarah. We can open it up to, board member, we can open it up to public.
Okay.
Okay, I got one more comment, please.
Oh.
Okay, now, with all these illegal fireworks, because they are illegal, I worked the Rose Bowl for the last time with my security company. I was in charge of that whole stadium with fans that were out of control. That's just 2 guards, me and 1 other guard. Now, just imagine law enforcement being that short-handed. We're supposed to have 20 guards to guard that whole stadium at the Rose Bowl at any time. That's for a Rose Bowl game or any event. I went there at 3 in the morning. You don't know what you have to do to prepare for one of those things. You do bomb sweeps 3 times a day before fans get in there. So these officers were doing their job, but there was a field across. Now, if they would have let it off in that high school, then there would be a big complaint. It'd be all over the news because it was let off in a high school if they did it on that field. They could have opened it to an open space, but since it was too dangerous to transport it, that's why they detonated where they did. And I will support the police department 100%. Because if we're going to start not supporting the police department, that means we're not going to be supporting Hollenbach. We're not supporting our other police departments in our area. Let them deal with their issue. Okay? The thing is, I support the police and law enforcement. Thank you.
Okay. If there's anybody in the public comment that wishes to make a comment, you can do so by pushing *9 or raising your little hand.
Public comments?
I don't see any, Sarah.
Okay. So we'll take it to a vote then. Should we restate the motion again?
The motion is to approve the letter, community impact statement, City Council seeking reparations for residents of South LA and a 20% defunding of LAPD in regards to the 6/30/21 LAPD firework bombing, 700 block of East 27th Street, controlled detonation, illegal fireworks, LAPD bomb squad council file 21-0775.
All right. We have a second?
We already have a second
Yeah,
and a motion.
Fernanda, could we take it to a vote, please?
All right. Sarah?
Yes.
Ben?
I can't go along with the defunding of the police department. I certainly agree that they are deserving of reparations for the damage, but errors happen. So I have to vote no on this one.
Fernanda, yes. William?
No.
Nancy?
Yes.
Benny?
Yes.
Diana?
Yeah, but I would like to see where the money's going specifically, just to make sure government officials aren't taking it, and making sure it's actually going to the community.
Is that a yes?
Yep, yes.
Richard Larson?
No.
Annalee?
Yes.
Melanie?
Got my weapon.
Yes.
Victor, Diego,
Yes.
Richard Ortiz,
See,
Steve,
I will support the requests of local community leaders, yes.
Selena,
Yes.
Chente, Chente,
Oh, claro que sí, yes.
Gil,
Oh,
Victor,
Yes.
Didia,
Yes, I also support yes in support of our neighboring neighborhood council and our neighbors.
14 yeses, 4 nos.
And the motion carries. Yes on the letter in support of South Central residents. Okay, everybody can hear me? Okay, so we move on to item G. Discussion and possible action on a letter to LA City Planning regarding Lincoln Heights zoning and city planning hearings being miscategorized as Central LA on the LA City Planning website in March 2021. Lincoln Heights missed 2 hearings because of an error at city planning. Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council seeks to have both hearings repeated because 39,000 people of Lincoln Heights were excluded from land use decisions. One was a zoning hearing for a single family dwelling at the base of Flat Top. Okay, so it was at 3008 North Johnston Street. So that's right at Johnston where it hooks around 28. That's ZA 2018-7030 ZAA ZAD and ENV 2018-7032-CE. And the second item that we missed was a CUB, conditional use permit, beverage permit for Zizu Bar at 2425 Daly Street. That's ZA 2020-4644 CUBCDO. All right.
Okay, I'll make, does anybody want to make the motion or do they want me to make it? I'll make the motion if nobody wants to do it. I make a motion?
I second.
Hold on, let me make the motion. I make the motion to approve the letter to LA City Planning regarding Lincoln Heights zoning, city planning hearings being miscategorized as Central LA and on the LA City Planning website in March of 2021. Lincoln Heights missed 2 hearings because of an error of city planning. LHNC seeks to have both hearings repeated as 39,000 people of Lincoln Heights were excluded from the land use decision. Zoning hearing for an SFD at the base of Flat Top at 3008 North Johnson Street, ZA-2018-7030-ZAA-ZAD, ENV-2018-7032CE. CUB for Zuzu Bar at 2425 Daly Street, ZA-2020-4644-CUB-CDO. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. So we'll open it up to, I'm gonna go to board. We'll go to board member comments first. Okay, board member comments.
William?
Yes, okay. Ashley, I am really against what the city is doing. And on that last vote, since we are actually trying to defend the community, now, one thing is, since of the housing as well, and it's not really affordable in our community, but $2.9 billion they get allocated for that HHH funds, which disappeared under our mayor's watch. We should start looking into projects like that. And I'm kind of sad that what the planning department not doing their diligently about getting the job done and going out there. But we already have too many homes that are replacing homes. I'm third generation in this community. And I'm getting tired of seeing this development on our hilltops and everything that's getting destroyed. So you guys take care, and I will decide within the next 2 weeks if I'm gonna resign.
Thank you,
Thank
William.
you. Richard Larson?
Yeah, thank you. And I'm sorry to hear that, William. I really feel badly about that. I don't know, you didn't give a reason, but anyway, you've been a long-standing positive contributor to this community. I want to recognize your efforts as a board member, and I urge you to stay. Also, same thing to Armida, who made similar statements today. Regarding this community impact statement, the wording is incorrect. The part that says, this is sometimes you can say something, but then see here, I'm trying to give an example here by pointing out what is incorrect. The phrase "not given any notice whatsoever" is completely misconstrued. It is misconstrued. It is false. So it was because of locals, our stakeholders, that came out and got involved with the council. They called me, and I went out and I looked and inspected that site and followed that project all the way from start to finish. We voted against it. We're talking about the flat top project here. And we also voted on a resolution about mansionization among homeless. We have homeless people along Avenue 24. Some of them are actually graduates or, people that attended Lincoln High, and here they are living behind the Smart and Final. At any rate, when we craft a CIS and include falsehoods, it gives a reason for the bureaus to ignore us. And specifically, I attended both of the hearings in question, so this CIS is erroneous on many levels. I'm going to have to vote against it. But anyway, continue on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Weird, yeah, okay.
I don't see any more board member comments.
All right. I could make it. I could just make a comment really quick. Many community members have actually emailed LA City Planning because, they have they developed a new methodology for categorizing zoning hearings. So unless you look at the master list of a million things, you would miss it because it doesn't come up on the east side stuff, in any case.
I might be able to clarify that.
Wait, point of order. Listen. No, I'll call you. Yes, Richard.
Thank you. So there's an unusual situation where the borders of Lincoln Heights and the area that we have control over more or less under the Department of City Planning do not coexist under the same borders. So frequently I hear people making statements about things that either don't have anything to do with Lincoln Heights or do. And in this particular case, I think that's another reason why the CIS is not correct.
This is actually a letter.
Yeah, whatever. It's called a CIS.
It was actually, this was miscategorized under the wrong council district as well. So any more board member comments?
I don't see any on my end.
Okay, so we're going to move on to public comments.
If there's anybody in the public that wishes to make a comment, you can do so by pushing *9 if you're on a landline, or raise your little hand.
Right.
There's none.
Okay, so should we restate the motion again? I mean, do we have to?
Okay, that's a long one.
Any of them? I mean, the case numbers.
Just the case numbers?
I mean, you could just.
I'll do the whole thing. It's a motion. The motion was to approve the letter to LA City Planning regarding Lincoln Heights zoning, LA City Planning hearing miscategorized as Central LA on the LA City Planning website in March of 2021. Lincoln Heights missed 2 hearings because of an error at the planning. Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council seeks to have both hearings repeated as 39,000 people of Lincoln Heights were excluded from land use decisions. The zoning hearing for SFD at the base of Flat Top at 3008 North of Johnson Street, ZA 2018-7030-ZAA-ZAD ENV 2018-7032-CE, CUP for Zuzu Bar at 2425 Daly Street, ZA 2020-4644-CUB-CDO.
All right, now we're gonna take it for a vote. Fernanda Sanchez?
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Fernanda, yes. William,
Yes.
Nancy,
Yes.
Benny,
Yes.
Diana,
Yes.
Annalee,
Yes.
Richard Larson,
No.
Melanie,
Yes.
Victor,
Yes.
Diego,
Yes.
Richard Ortiz,
Steve.
Steve,
Yes.
Selena,
Yes.
Chente,
Yes.
Gil,
Yes, but I hope it just gives it a jab in the side so they can maybe pay attention to us.
Didia,
Yes.
$17 yeses, 1 no.
Okay, 17 yeses, 1 no. The motion carries. The letter will be sent to LA City Planning. Okay, and now we are at the last item on the agenda, item H. Discussion and possible action on letter/community impact statement to City Council for AB 1400 Kalra / California Guaranteed Healthcare for All Program, CalCare, Universal Single Payer Healthcare Coverage, Healthcare Cost Control System, Council File 210002-S83. We have a speaker for this item. Sean Broadbent. Vince, could you bring Sean up? I believe Sean might have a visual.
Okay, so I'll make him a panelist. Let me see, where is he? He was here right now, but he's gone.
Oh, no, he's at the top.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna make him a panelist and then I'll share a screen with him.
okay.
Hello, Sean?
Hi, yep, I'm on.
Okay,
And is it possible to enable participant screen sharing so I can bring up the visual?
okay, I have to end mine and then give it over to you.
Thanks so much.
Hey. Hi, Sean.
Hey,
Hey.
so let's,
Okay. See if you have access now. I gave it access.
see. I am pressing screen share, but it still says disabled. Sarah, I had sent along the general principles document. If it's possible for you to screen share. Oh, no, I've got it. I've got it. There we go.
Yay.
So if everybody can see that, I hope you can. But yeah, just as way of introduction, hi everybody, my name's Sean, he, him, and I am with a group of organizers, volunteer community organizers who are trying to pass this thing, CalCare. It is in the assembly, but the reason I'm talking with you tonight is because in the City Hall is a resolution in support of the bill, in support of CalCare, which is a universal healthcare system that would cover everybody. But let's go over the main points here, which you can see on this document that help explain a little bit about what CalCare would do. First of all, we provide universal coverage, means everybody in, nobody out. Everybody, regardless of race, sex, gender, country of origin, disability status, immigration status, marital status, age and income, gets the care they need regardless of their ability to pay. That's really important because the more gaps there are in a system, any welfare system, the more people aren't going to receive the care that they need. And it's all housed under a single public program. Instead of applying to the one that you need and trying to find out if you qualify, you go to a single payer publicly funded through progressive taxation, which covers all necessary care in California. This eliminates billions in bloat and waste and saves people thousands on their healthcare costs. A single public program is able to achieve cost savings that a multi-payer system just never can. It's just not able to do, which we are currently experiencing. Fully comprehensive benefits, which include medical, dental, hearing, vision, mental health, prescription drugs, long-term care, and more. I don't know about you when you first purchased a health plan, but this is a lot of the things that I assumed would be a part of it. So when I first started working for the first time and I purchased my own health plan for myself, I thought there was going to be dental, hearing, vision. None of that was included. So that was all a brutal awakening for me, and it is for a lot of other people. And they have to make that decision about whether or not they're going to add it on to their healthcare, regardless of what their needs are. So anyhow, that's to say that all decisions about care will be made between you and your doctors and nurses, not insurance companies. Another important item is that you'd be free to choose your care provider. Under CalCare, there'd be no more in-network or out-of-network. You'd have the freedom to choose any doctor or hospital you'd like. But it also protects you when you can't choose which doctor or hospital you're going to be visiting. For instance, I bike all through LA County. If I get hit and hurt, seriously injured on the road, I'm going to be taken to the nearest facility that can care for me and get me well again. If I'm somewhere that's out of network, I'm going to be potentially hit with bills that I'm not going to be able to pay, and that's going to break me as an individual. It's going to break the bank for me, and I'm going to have to declare bankruptcy as an individual. This happens to people, and even if you're not biking around the city, you can still be commuting via your personal vehicle or walking across the street as a pedestrian or working in a different part of the city and get seriously injured. It's not uncommon. So a lot of us need to eliminate this system of in-network or out-of-network where it really prevents us from getting the care we need. And then really crucial, it's free at the point of service. So no more co-pays, premiums, or deductibles. We know this keeps us from getting the care that we need and deserve. You arrive at the doctor's office, show them your CalCare card, and get the care you need and deserve. Truly that simple. It's the type of elegant system that a lot of other high net worth industrialized countries have made for their citizens and for their residents as well. And it's something that we can do in the United States. We can do it in California. It's just we haven't chosen to do that. And because this is a progressive piece of legislation, we would do a just transition. That means funding and programs to protect and support any displaced workers in the insurance industry. So we know this is something that we need to do. It's not an option. We know that too many people are falling through the cracks, millions of people. But we need to do right by anybody who's currently working within the industry. So a certain portion of the program's funds will be dedicated to displaced workers. So that's the whole program's funds, which are already going to be dedicated to everyone's health, will also be dedicated to workers who are displaced. And there will be workers who will find work within the CalCare system as well. It will be necessary for them as well to be included. And then lastly, patient care based simply on patient need. So no more financial incentives to avoid providing necessary care, including value-based payment models for providers. So I got involved in this because both of my parents are nurses. My younger brother is a physical therapist, and my older sister, she works as a radiologist. So many times when they are working with people, they want to deliver care for them. They want them to get something they need. But because of the value-based payment model, they are prevented, and they have to see people go out the door, even though they've been diagnosed with something, and not get that care that they need. And the money's there, it's present, but it's not allotted for them. So let's change this. It's not irrational. It's something that other wealthy industrialized countries have done. We just need to make the commitment to do it. So I hope you guys will raise up your voice to do it. Submit a community impact statement to the city, and help the city make a bold statement to tell our legislators that we want this to happen. So I'm also more than willing to answer questions if you have them. But yeah, just happy that you guys were able to allot some time for this tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you. So I'll make the motion to approve the letter of community impact statement to City Council for AB 14, California Guaranteed Health Care for All Program, Universal Single Payer Healthcare Coverage, Healthcare Cost Control System for Council File 21-0002-S83. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay.
Board.
To board member comments.
William Morris.
William?
Hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, my question to you, sir, since you're saying about universal health care, how would that help a person that needs a caregiver to come in? Would that be covered with this plan? Because I know Congress did it for Social Security all right, let's just say if you make more than $1,100, you have to pay out of pocket. So will all the costs be covered? Because there's a lot of people, like my mom has dementia, which it is very frustrating that Congress does not want to change the policy for Social Security. So you're going to say you're going to change this policy for California, and now where is the money going to come from if you're not going to be getting it from DC?
So I think that was, yeah, no, thanks. I think it's William. So the bill does allow for long-term services and supports. So that means the long-term service that you're talking about. It includes home and community-based services, which I think is the kind of thing you're describing, where it's really needed that it's in the home. It would support people with disabilities to live, work, and participate in their communities. And that's really important. And as you said, currently missing from systems of welfare. They're not as comprehensive as they need to be. So this bill is modeled on Medicare, but it is an expanded and improved version of it. Like the proposed Medicare for All bill is also an expanded and improved version of the current system. And then a question about how would it work without federal funding. This bill would incorporate federal funding into it. So all dollars that are coming into the state must spend on Medicare, Medicaid, its various programs of social support would actually get encompassed into a new trust called the CalCare Trust. And the CalCare Trust, just like the Medicare Trust pays out, the CalCare Trust would pay for all health benefits. So it's an
So
element.
now you're talking about a mutual fund. That's what it's going to go into, right?
It is a fund that would encompass all federal dollars and all dollars that California currently commits. It would encompass all of those into a new fund, and then the legislature would be tasked by the CalCare board with funding the remaining amounts and committing to it.
And it's not going to raise taxes for anybody here in California. My next question for you. The hard question, because I know that fine print at the bottom. Remember, I'm a Senate director and I've been looking at the books for many years. So is it going to raise the taxes here in California? Because that money has to come from somewhere. And I already know you put money in mutual funds, and that's how these guys get their salaries, which will be exposed in 2022 on March.
So it would not create an unfunded liability for the legislature. They would be tasked with raising the funding. Important thing to remember is that it's replacing all existing healthcare that people are currently paying out for. So it's a replacement system. So any system of financing would be through progressive taxation.
Taxation, okay. You have a direct number so I can call you so we can discuss this a little more?
I gave my.
I'm not going to tell you what candidate I'm for, but I am actually a candidate. So what's your number?
I gave my email and phone number to Sarah. So if you don't mind reaching out to her, more than happy to speak with you more about this.
Okay.
Hey, well,
And are you up in Sacramento, or where are you located at?
Yeah, so just so everybody knows, I'm a LA County resident, volunteer with other volunteers here in LA. A lot of us are with Healthcare for All Los Angeles, but we're all not necessarily members of that group. And yeah, we volunteer, and we're currently all presenting at neighborhood councils. So just trying to win support.
All right, sounds good. I'll reach out to you, and I'll reach out to Sarah to get your number.
Cool.
We can probably
Thank you,
set up.
Richard.
Thank you, William.
Thank you, Richard, very much.
Richard Larson.
Thank you. Thank you, Sean, for bringing this forward. And thank you, William, for your concise points regarding funding this issue in Washington. I have to say, William makes great points, but I believe those I represent would want this. Health care is at the foundation of our families, and getting the care they deserve is paramount. I would note that I think many of us probably know Councilman Bonin is under recall. Is that not so? He is very unpopular in his district due to the closed door policy in evidence, the way that office is run. But we might want to take note of that. While the idea has merits, the one offering it, is under some scrutiny right now. I am voting for this because, as I said, I believe those I represent would want it. But I hope that we can reform the verbiage in the letter to reduce the overburden of recent events. Thank you.
Thank you. Diana Tran.
Hi, so I'm pretty sure I'm on Medi-Cal, but so how would that work exactly with your proposed system? So would CalCare just get my information, it just roll over, or like would there have to be additional paperwork? Because my family has difficulty speaking English and reading English, so I would probably become the translator. And if like there would need to be if there needs to be some sort of transfer over.
So yeah, if I can answer that question, you kind of had two things packaged in there. The first one is how would you transition to the system? So it would be based on residency. You're a resident of California. You would be transitioned as a resident to this insurance program, and all residents would be included. Another item which is really important that makes this an especially good single payer bill is that it'd be the first one that guarantees culturally, linguistically, and structurally competent care to ensure that all Californians receive care in accordance with the Federal Americans with Disabilities Act. And not every single payer bill has prioritized this in the past, but in California, with our diverse communities, it's obviously going to be necessary that we do this. So just like our elections are run in a way to where trying to involve as many communities as possible and involve them and make sure it's understandable and that materials are provided to them, whether they be auditory devices or written documents. The documents for CalCare will be provided in a way that are understandable for you and your family. And also the care providers will be provided as such to where you're getting culturally relevant care.
Yeah, and so Medicaid, Medicare, and like everything, it would just transition over to CalCare, right? Just to be specific. Just to
Yeah. Yes, it's a program that ends up encompassing the services that you already received under those and expanding and improving upon them to make it more comprehensive.
Thanks, that's what I wanted to know.
Thank you. Benny?
So I've heard on the news how Obamacare has been supported by both of the major political parties. Like folks thought that it would be eliminated by now, but it hasn't. How does this relate to that?
So it's a similar question as Diana's. This wouldn't eliminate the ACA. ACA, of course, expanded Medicaid. It allowed California to reach out to millions more people through that program. However, it left in place a system where people were still denied care via growing deductibles that year over year grow by hundreds, if not thousands of dollars if you're a family. And for every several hundred or $1,000 raised in the deductible, that's care you're actually not receiving because you're not, people are choosing to not receive care because they actually don't have that money to cover it. So they wait until their illness has progressed to a severe state, and that's when they get the care, when it's actually harder to treat them because their illness has become more acute. So as far as passage, this is a state bill, so it's not necessarily a federal bill. This would only apply within California. So we're not necessarily dealing with a national political struggle. We're just dealing with a California struggle. And that's not to say it'll be easier either. So
got it. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you. Melanie?
Thanks for being here, Sean. This is a subject near and dear to me, so I'm really glad you're here. Just wanted to mention and remind, and you talked about this, I just want to make sure everyone really hears this part, that there is taxation, there is progressive taxation, but there are no more deductibles, there are no more premiums, there are no more fees involved with getting medical care. That is gone. So, maybe you pay another $600 in taxes each year, or depending on what your income is, but you don't pay for thousands of dollars worth of medical care that you can't afford.
Yay. Thank you, Mel. We also need one for the pets. We need a healthcare pet system. I just throw that out there.
People will be able to afford to pay for their pets now if they're not having to pay for their medical care. So yes, this is serving my interests in many ways.
Sarah, I don't see no more board member comment. We should open it. Or do you have a comment? Oh, hold on, Gil.
Gil?
Gilbert? Hello?
We can come back to Gil.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you're saying that all the monies that come into the state for whatever medical things and everything else like that will go to this thing. Does that mean that this program is mandatory? I mean, everybody has to join it. Like the thing like vaccinations. There are some people who, even though it's all good for them and everything like that, they don't get the shot. But yeah, I just want to know if it's going to be a mandatory. Of course, I don't have a problem. I serve, so I get mine by the VA. So yeah, it's up to you guys.
So that's an issue of a characterization of it. I would say it's analogous to Medicare that you receive at 65, and I'm not sure if people would describe that as being mandatory when you turn 65. It's available to you. And I also would analogize it to the fire department. I don't know that fire department services are necessarily mandatory to you. Also public schooling, I don't know necessarily that it's mandatory for you, but it's provided to you. So it's an issue of characterization. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any more board members? No?
I don't see any more board members. We can go to the public. We have 3 in the public.
Let's go to the public.
Okay, first one, Chin Sim Nim. Hello?
Yes, hi,
Okay.
my name is Ching Sim Lim, and I'm actually a fellow single payer activist with Sean Broadbent, organizing a volunteer organizer for CalCare AB 1400, this bill that Sean has talked about. And as an Asian American, I wanted to highlight something about this bill that Sean touched upon earlier and somebody asked about, which is that multilingual, culturally competent care. The amazing thing about this bill is, well, I'll backtrack a little bit. For people who've studied the issue of single payer for a long, long time, they consider Representative Jayapal's bill in Congress and the House of Representatives, HR 1976, the gold standard for any kind of single payer system, like, because it's thought out, it's, you know, very well thought out. And the amazing thing about AB 1400 is that it is this, you know, not only is the state equivalent of this gold standard in Congress, but it actually improves on the gold standard. And the way it improves on the gold standard is that it actually integrates multilingual, culturally competent, culturally sensitive care in its blueprint for healthcare equality in the state. This has never happened before. This is the you know, in my view, the best single payer bill ever in California history, and it is the only single payer bill I can think of, both on the national level and the state level, that actually integrates multilingual, culturally sensitive, culturally competent care in the bill. And you know, looking at Lincoln Heights, you know, I just was tooling around finding out, you know, looking at statistics, like uninsured, people who are uninsured are 15% of the Lincoln Heights population. That's twice the number of uninsured in California. In terms of the COVID cases, I know that in your CIS draft, you note that, you know, Lincoln Heights has the highest rate of COVID in LA County, majority of essential workers. And, you know, when you compare that with like a similar size neighborhood in another part of LA, so Lincoln Heights is about 32,000 people in the neighborhood. Brentwood is, you know, slightly less, is about 30-something thousand people, Brentwood in West LA. Well, you know, if you compare these similar sized populations, the COVID cases in Lincoln Heights are 3 times that in Brentwood, and deaths from COVID are 9 times that in Brentwood. So you have this structural health, you know, disparity, which is so stark just within, you know, LA City. And then in Lincoln Heights, I understand that more than 50%, approximately 56%, according to the LA Times, using statistics from data from the US Census from 2000, and then LA County data from 2008. 56% are in the population in Lincoln Heights are foreign born. 71% are Latinx, and 25%, about a quarter, are Asian, of Asian descent. So you have a huge majority immigrant population in Lincoln Heights, which to me says that, you know, you are going to have a population where the primary language for a lot of the people in the neighborhood are not going to be English, especially the seniors. So how does AB 1400 affect Lincoln Heights in this very granular, very, way? The 15% uninsured will be insured. They will be covered. They don't have to worry anymore. People who are, essential workers, they, worried about getting COVID vaccinations or whatnot because they can't take a day off work, that sort of thing. They wouldn't have to worry about it because, health coverage would not be tied to employment. You would never have to worry about whether you're employed, not employed, in order to get health care. So, if somebody is enterprising and they're working at a job because they need the health insurance for the job, they no longer have to worry about that. They can go start their own small business, because healthcare will be covered. They don't need to work at a job that they don't like in order to get healthcare. And it'll free up entrepreneurship. I consider myself a progressive, but this bill, single payer, is good for everybody. It's not, progressive. It's not only, I think it's really great for people of any ideology. If you want to start, small business would benefit from single payer. And then in terms of the immigration, majority immigration population in Lincoln Heights, the AB 1400 has a provision, a special projects fund, where priority is going to be given to communities that have been underserved healthcare wise, and that resources will be put towards training and hiring doctors, nurses, healthcare workers from the very communities that are underserved, who have the linguistic and the cultural competencies to deliver healthcare in a way that is going to be, that are going to meet the needs of the people in that community. And I cite the case, of
Chen, we have time constraint now because I think we went over the public comment.
Okay, sorry.
But you can,
anyway,
just finish up.
Yes, basically there is a special projects fund in AB 1400 that is targeted at, meeting the needs of underserved communities, whether it's cultural needs, lingual, language needs, in the delivery of healthcare, training of more training and hiring of healthcare workers from communities that are underserved.
Thank you, Chen. We have someone by the name of Me. I am mute.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. My quick question is pretty quick. Under this new Medicare system, if a person is over the, aged, over the age of 50, 55, doesn't have any dependents, and they get sick long-term, at the end of that, will they want to receive money back for the medical care? Because if I were to pass away, I could leave my adult children something, if they sell my house. But if I'm under a long-term care and I get a real bad illness where it costs a lot of money, at the end of my death, if I were to die, would they want to take the money and recover it? Because on Cal, there is a recovery for, I don't know if people know that. So that's
Was the person done asking their question? It cut off for me.
Oh, did you hear my question? Is there a recovery under this medical insurance type deal like Medi-Cal and Medicare? Because there is a recovery act where if you're over the age of 55, you don't have a spouse at home and your children, you don't have any dependents. When you die, they do kind of expect they can have the option of having the recovery to receive the money for them paying it upfront for your medical care. So that was just my question.
I I think I understand the question. It's the question relates to the issue of debts for unpaid charges for patient care.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I have the bill open in front of me. I am looking for that specific item to see about recovery. I'll be honest, I'm unfamiliar with that practice by Medi-Cal Medicare. So if it's all right, I would also like to follow up with you if you don't mind reaching out to the council president. She does have my info, and that is something I would like to answer for you. And I am in contact with the lead sponsor of the bill, which is the National Nurses United, and I have a contact there. They helped sponsor this bill. That sounds like a really important question, so I'd like to answer that for you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we'll make sure to get the council's email, the president's email, just before we end public comment. Angelica Lopez.
Hi there, good evening. I won't take up too much time. I just wanted to add to something that I heard from Cheng Sim. And I just wanted to point to something locally. I know I just heard that 25% of the residents are Asian in your area. And I wanted to point out the closure of the Pacific Alliance Medical Center in 2017. And a lot of the patients that were going there were coming in from the areas, and they did require some of the Asian languages, Toisan and Cantonese and Mandarin. And now they're either forced to go elsewhere, or they are just, I would imagine, avoiding going in for care. Thank you.
Thank you. Sarah, I don't see any more public comment. I would just like to ask Sean just one thing, because, well, this covers the healthcare part of it. And just a simple answer, because I know people are tired. We've been on the meeting for a little bit over 3 hours, and I thank everyone for it. But one of the most important things that I also see to that some of the health care programs don't cover is dental. And we all know how dental, oral hygiene and oral health is very important to the overall health of the body. Sometimes when I see these bills written, they don't have that because they consider it cosmetic. But sometimes when someone can smile, that brightens their mental health and their oral hygiene. And so I'm wondering if there's anything mentioned in there about dental health.
Yes, dental would be one of the main services provided. So it's medical, dental, hearing, vision, mental health, prescription drugs, long-term care, in short. So it is a truly comprehensive, and it is what a lot of people expect when they are receiving it. And the thing that we see, and this is not to belabor the point, but what we see when it's not included in a main insurance plan. So a lot of people have a main insurance that covers them essentially for catastrophic care, but they need a dental service done for them. You see a lot of people going to GoFundMe. I've looked through a lot of GoFundMe pages. That's one of the main things you see on there. A lot of people try and get that covered, and it is an issue of dignity and somebody's sense of worth, and they lose some of that. My cousin herself had to do that, raise the funds through GoFundMe, and she was missing her front tooth from an accident. And I completely agree that that smile is priceless, and it does a lot for somebody's self-worth and dignity.
Definitely. Thank you. Sarah, I have no more questions from the public or the board.
So
we can close it up and vote on it.
let's just vote on it.
Take it to vote.
Okay, so we'll go to the vote. Secretary Sanchez?
Sarah,
Yes.
Ben,
Ben Wadsworth?
Fernanda, yes. William? Nancy?
Yes.
Benny?
Yes.
Diana,
Yes.
Annalee, Melanie,
Yes.
Victor,
Yes.
Diego,
Yes.
Richard Ortiz,
See,
Richard Larson, Steve,
Yes.
Selena,
Yes.
Chente,
Yes.
Gil,
Yes.
William, Richard, Larson, Didia,
Yes.
16 yeses, 2 absent.
All right, and the motion carries. So yes on the letter of the assist in support of CalCare. Okay, so now
Yes.
we're to the last item, item number 5.
The
Adjournment.
most important one of all.
Motion to adjourn.
Well, I'll just say this. I'm glad that Lincoln Heights voted to support this because I think it's every one of our 39 people on their way to get health care, and everyone probably had a nightmare with health care sometimes. So we can go to sleep knowing that we at least put our foot forward onto it, and hope that the state follows and the representatives do. So with that, I'll make a motion to adjourn our general board meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Oh, man, that woke everybody up. So it's unanimous.
Thank you,
Uh,
Sean.
Fernanda, for the record, our meeting ended at 9:33.
Noted, thank you.
All right.
Okay, thank you all for standing in. I know it was a long meeting. We're going to do our best to make it shorter next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
bye.
Bye.